Alright. Alright, we're live. So, welcome guys to the stream. Today we've got the Russian Grand Prix and it's going to be really exciting with the 900 meters down into turn 1. So, from the starting grid to turn 2, it's 900 meters. There's going to be a lot of slipstream, a lot of towing, a lot of jostling for position going into turn 1. And it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out into the lead after turn 2. Yeah. And well, there's a lot to talk about. So we've got the strategy choices for today. We have the soft, mediums, and hards as usual, and the mediums are 6/10 slower than the softs, and the hards are a full 1 second slower than the softs. So the ideal strategy for today's race is going to be start on the mediums and then switch on to the hards. And yeah. Hello, Siddharth. Nice to see you here. Yeah. All right. So everyone there's Verstappen, Bottas, and Leclerc. All of them have grid penalties. So does Nicholas Latifi. And Antonio Giovinazzi has a gearbox penalty as well. So we have 5 people taking penalties today. So that means Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin are starting in 14th and 15th place respectively. Probably the highest that they've been all year round, in fact. Which is quite ironic. They're in 4th and 15th, and not even because of their own pace, because of other people taking penalties. Hello, C. Paul and Marielle Della Pena and Jan Gundos and Justin. I think, and MCTG. So Max Verstappen in 2018, sorry, he had an engine penalty and also a 3-place grid penalty, like he does today. Max Verstappen getting brand new engine and had a 3-place grid penalty from last weekend's incident with Lewis Hamilton. He is starting last on the grid, and it's very similar to what he did in 2018. 2018, within 10 laps. Oh no, within I think it was 5 laps or so, he'd gained 10 positions. So look out for Max Verstappen and their progress through the field. We're going to be tracking Bottas, Leclerc, Verstappen throughout the whole race because they're going to be pulling off some really nice overtakes, pulling their way through the grid. And then there's also a battle at the front. There's going to be a battle between Norris, Sainz, Russell, and Hamilton at the front to try and see who can get on the podium, who isn't. I can see your comment, George8975. What's up, Pentueno Welton? Bottas is at the back. Yeah, when does the race start? In 25 minutes. It says it just above the track map. 25 minutes till the race starts. All the cars are on the grid right now, and yeah. All right, this is going to be an exciting race. The winner in Sochi, guys, according to the stats, has always come from the drivers in the top 3. So if the stats are anything to go by, then Norris, Sainz, or Russell are going to be winning the race. Yeah, very exciting, isn't it? That obviously we haven't had such a weird qualifying session in previous years, but who knows what can happen. Do you read the chat while commentating? I tried and read the chat, but obviously once we get like 1,000 or so people in the chat, I can't keep up with every single message while commentating at the same time. Ricciardo podium. Ricciardo could get a podium, because obviously it's quite likely that Russell will drop back, and the Ferraris have bad tyre wear in the cold conditions, and the air temperature is 19 degrees and track temperature is 22. So the cold conditions for the Ferrari aren't going to be helping them. And also, yesterday the top speeds of the McLarens and all Mercedes engines were around about 300 kilometers an hour. So Norris was at 302, I think. Russell was at 303, and Hamilton was at 299. And then there was Carlos Sainz, who was on 288. So he was 10 kilometers an hour slower in qualifying, was Carlos Sainz. So he's got a very slow top speed, and with a 900 meters to the start of turn 2, he is going to have to get a very good start if he wants to maintain that second place that he's got. Yeah. but the championship could see a big swing in momentum today because Max Verstappen starting right at the back of the grid, Lewis Hamilton up in fourth place, and the gap between the two drivers is only five points, and both of the second drivers, Perez is in eighth place, not really in any position to challenge Hamilton, and Bottas is right at the back. So Hamilton has a very good chance to swing the title fight back into his back onto his side. Mercedes are still ahead in the constructors by 18 points. Change the year count to plus 99. It's currently on Infinity, so I think Infinity's alright. And any chances of rain? There is a 20% chance of rain, but I don't think there is, because looking at the weather radar, all of the rain is to the left of the circuit. There is no patches of rain whatsoever that are going to hit the circuit. And yeah, Russell, that is true. So, hello, Rickus. So the left side of the grid is the clean side of the grid, so you have better traction going off the start. So everyone who's starting in an odd position, so number 1, number 3, number 5, all of those guys are going to have a better like launch because the track is just cleaner on that side of the grid compared to Sainz, Hamilton, and Alonso, which are second, fourth, and sixth, which will be starting on the right side of the grid. And so anyone on the left side of the grid is going to have a benefit, and then George Russell has a top speed, has the slipstream from Norris, and also has a clean side of the grid. So George Russell is a very good contender to be in the lead at turn 1. Yeah. What's up, Multi Ninja? And Bottas with a new power unit, and he was in Q3. I think he was in 7th place, I think. But now he's down in 16th place because of his grid penalty. Yeah, Russell might lose his positions fast, but the thing is, to overtake someone around the circuit, you need to have the top speed to overtake them. And with the Williams, you need to have a higher top speed to overtake them, really. With the Williams being the quickest car on the track with the highest top speed, it's going to be hard to overtake him. I will change the yet counter if I can find it. Here we are. Plus 99. There we go. So all the cars are on the grid now. They will be doing the formation lap in a few minutes. 10-15 minutes now. They'll be doing the formation lap. And there was an issue with Nicholas Latifi's car. And that's why he's got a new power unit as well. So lots of people taking lots of new power unit parts. And then we have the battle in the middle. We'll see if Tsunoda and Gasly both starting 11th and 12th. So we'll see if Gasly does go up the field or if he just sticks with Tsunoda. Because if Tsunoda can stick with Gasly, that's going to help him get that seat for next year, because there's loads of people contending for that Red Bull seat. So anything that Tsunoda can get is going to help him out. Norris starts on pole for the first time for McLaren, and it's his first pole ever. I mean, yesterday's lap was absolutely amazing, and he is just on form, Mr. Consistent, I guess. Yeah, so we have Mr. Consistent, Smooth Operator, and Mr. Saturday in the first 3 positions of today's race. The circuit is the race is 53 laps long, and there are 2 DRS zones, 18 turns, and the circuit is 3.6 miles. So 53 laps of racing that we're going to get today. Oh, is Yuki? Oh yeah, Yuki has already got a seat. Yeah, I forgot about that because I saw the headline, but I didn't read the article. So, yeah, Yuki has got the seat for next year. Never mind. What is that about Bottas' grid penalty? Bottas, he was starting in 7th place, but then I think Mercedes were just like, well, we'll just take a new engine anyway. And then, so Bottas is starting in 16th place now with a new engine, so he can definitely get to the end of the season with without any more engine failures. And yeah, George Russell is currently just doing an interview for Sky Sports, but we have a quote from Christian Horner which says, we're not too we're not too. Wait, we focus on our own race. To get ahead, we'll pass them at some point. We just need to get our heads down and get on with it. Um, so that's what it is. Christian Horner's just like head down and pushed to the limit, really. What did Bottas replace last race then? I think last race Bottas also took an engine penalty. So last race, so this is Bottas's fifth engine, whereas um, most drivers this is their fourth engine. So this is Verstappen and Leclerc's fourth engine, whereas it's Bottas's fifth engine. So I have no idea. Um, but Sainz has done a good job considering he is on a old power unit. But the Ferrari obviously isn't quickest in the straight line either. 18 minutes till the race. 18 minutes till the race begins, and yeah. Okay, let's see. We'll talk about the race strategy into turn one then. Well, not into turn one, into the over the whole thing. So you will lose 24 seconds in a pit stop, under green flag running, and you will lose 17 seconds in a pit stop under a safety car or a virtual safety car. Um, and in previous years, there's an 86% chance that a safety car or a virtual safety car will be deployed. 20% chance of rain, and the quickest strategy is the mediums to the hards, and then the second quickest is the hards to the mediums. Then strategy number 3 is mediums, hards, mediums, and then the final strategy is softs to hards. And everyone has a bunch of fresh sets of tyres because they were using the wet tyres yesterday, and it's looking good for a very exciting race that we have today. Sophie Kettle asks, any predictions? Well, I will predict. This is going to be really bold, but I'm going to predict a Lando Norris win. That's what I'm predicting. Well, even if Russell does get P6 or P7, that will still be one of his best performances for the whole of Williams. Except obviously the podium that he got in Spa because the race was cancelled. But for an actual race, that would be very, very cool. That's totally fine, Rickus. No worries. You can carry on with your schoolwork because that's totally fine. Do a poll on who will win. Sure. Let's just create a poll then. Who will win? And then I'm gonna put Norris, Sainz, Hamilton, and Verstappen. Can Verstappen do a last to first challenge? That Verstappen's basically doing a last to first challenge today. This might be one of the most dramatic starts on the entire season. Do have a vote in the poll on what you think, who you think's going to win. And yeah, I think I said at the start of the stream, but the mediums are 6/10 slower than the soft, and the hards are a full 1 second slower. I will let you know what tyres everyone is on when I get the information, because that's going to be interesting, because obviously the softer your tyres, the better start you're going to get. So maybe Carlos Sainz will go on the soft tyres to try and get a better race start, but that might compromise him later into the race because of the lots of tyre wear. All right. I need to change the stream title so to Formation Lap, because Formation Lap's starting very, very soon. Yeah, good thing there's no Kvyat. Okay, well in 2018 he started P18 and then got up to P8 within a matter of within 10 laps or so. Sainz P2 and P3 Shui. How long till they start? 15 minutes till the race start now, so not long to go. When I get team radio, I will also play the team radio as it comes through, and it's looking good though. Very exciting race indeed. I can't wait for this really. We've got some team radio from Nikita Mazepin, and we've got a quote from Toto Wolff as well.
The steering rack is feeling strange. It's quite a lot offset to the right, and yeah, it'll be nice to have a look at it because it hasn't been like that before.
Yep, copy that. We'll have a look.
Yep. So there was some issues with his steering system, so it was just turning to the right when it was when the steering wheel was straight. So they probably fixed that now. And now we have a quote from Toto Wolff, who says, "I would not be surprised if George is leading the race after turn 2. That would be good fun to watch. As long as Lewis can make up many positions, we would have the present and future running up in P1 and 2, which would be very, very interesting indeed." Russell outqualified Hamilton 2 out of the 4 past races, and he's his new teammate. And Russell's also in a Williams and Hamilton's in a Mercedes, which is kind of funny. My favourite driver is Seb Vettel, and it's a full power unit. Poland Bowl is asking, yeah, it's a full power unit change for all of the drivers, because they might as well, if they're going to start at the back of the grid, they might as well finish replace the whole power unit itself, because it's just overall just much safer. And yeah, so I will let you know the quickest race strategies, mediums to hards. So that's what most drivers will be doing that. But if anyone does take an alternate strategy, it'd be interesting to see what they decide to do. Also, guys, if you haven't subscribed or liked the stream, that would be very helpful indeed. Help out the channel and the stream as well, because this race is going to be good. And it could probably be one of my record streams if everyone hits the like button, and then we get even more people watching. So would appreciate all of the support. Yesterday, Pierre Gasly was quite disappointed with getting 11th place. I mean, he was actually quite a bit lower down, Pierre Gasly, but he just could not extract out the performance of the AlphaTauri in the wet conditions, and hopefully he can do that again. I mean, hopefully it's the dry conditions today, and he's very good in the dry. So we'll see if he can continue with the consistent pace that he has in races, and we'll see what he can do. He'll be one to watch as well, but the main people that we'll be watching is the battle right at the front and the battle right at the back. Lando Norris, Sainz, Russell and Hamilton, a four-way battle for the lead going into turn 1, and then we'll have Verstappen, Leclerc and Bottas making their way through the field. So it's going to be a lot to commentate today, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. By the looks of it, oh, and also guys, because it rained yesterday, you can choose whichever tires you want to start on. Usually it's whichever tires you're on in Q2 is the ones that you use to start, but today you can start on whichever tires you want, because yesterday's race was qualifying. Oh, yesterday's quali was wet. Yeah, Russell's got the best starting position, so predictions he'll take the lead. Yes, I do think Russell will have the lead going into turn number 2, or coming out of turn number 3, because Russell has the highest top speed, has a clean starting position, and is behind Lando Norris. We'll wait and see what happens there. And the risk, apparently, according to the FIA, the risk of rain is 70%. Which is a lot higher than I expected. The official Google News, when I looked it up, it was only 30% chance of rain. So we'll find out if it actually does rain, but I don't think it will, because I looked at the radar before and the rain was quite far away. And yeah, by the looks of it, Red Bull are so Red Bull are trying to reduce the drag on the car as much as possible. In fact, what they're doing is they're adding tape to the rear of Max Verstappen's cars to cover up all of the miniature cracks that are on the bodywork, to try and get the maximum top speed going down the straight. So the Red Bull are giving it their absolute all here, because with Max Verstappen in 20th place and the dirty air being very strong with these 2020 cars or 2021 cars, any drag reduction you can get is very helpful. Now 9 minutes till the race begins, and yeah, just don't leave just yet, because lap 1 is probably going to be the most exciting turn 1 of the entire season, and well, yeah, looking forward to it. The safety car has been out on the opening lap 5 out of 6 times. 5 out of 6 times in the past 6 years. So, by the looks of it, we may get another safety car. With all of these drivers at the front, there may be a crash at the front, or maybe right at the back with Verstappen or Bottas going for a risky move. But, yeah, this is what it is. This is this is why we love Formula One, because it's so unpredictable. We'll wait and find out what happens. Ricciardo could definitely break late into turn one, and gets Hamilton, who's, I mean, yeah, Ricciardo, last of the late breakers, very good at sending it down the inside. So if Ricciardo gets a good toe off Hamilton, or a good toe off Russell, in fact, because Russell will be going for the lead, then Hamilton definitely could be in trouble, because the McLaren has got a higher top speed than the Mercedes as well. So it's looking good for an exciting turn one. Only 8 minutes left now till the race begins. Ricciardo has a very good chance of the podium as well. I mean, anyone in the top five is a very good, even Alonso has a good chance at a podium here, because do something special into turn one and you are set for the rest of the race, and just cannot wait for the race to begin now. So Toto Wolff has said, first of all, Bottas has to do his own race. He was by far the quickest on Friday, also in the long runs. The team had a little talk today, not utilizing the word pressure, but remembering we have the greatest job in the world. I don't exactly know what Toto Wolff is on about, but Lewis Hamilton may be feeling the pressure. He in fact said that Max will be feeling the pressure, but if we're looking at it now, Lewis Hamilton is feeling the pressure, making a mistake in Q2, making a mistake in Q3, and then getting fourth place when Williams and McLaren are ahead of him. In fact, the last time there was a McLaren, Ferrari, Williams front top three was in Spain 2012. So a very, very long time ago, 9 years ago, was the last time we had a starting grid like this. And Lando Norris is just getting into the car now, so 5 minutes early, and we will be getting racing very soon. I'll get the Twitter up of every what's it called? Of every team, and then we can see if they're posting any important stuff on there. And Bottas has really just been unfortunate at Sochi. Really, he has pace every single year at this circuit. This year, unfortunately, had a grid penalty. 2018 got team orders. So we'll hope he does not get team orders again this year, because we just want to see Bottas have a good fight with all of the other drivers. He's a very capable driver, of course. How are we all ready to watch it? I don't think it's going to be a dull Lewis Hamilton strategy win. I think the McLarens have the pace. Lando Norris definitely does have the pace to hold off Lewis Hamilton, at least for 10 laps or so. Especially if Hamilton hasn't got fresh tyres. So Lando is going to be giving his absolute all. He has a chance to get his first win as well. And yeah, 40% of retirements that happen in the Russian Grand Prix. So if there were 10 retirements in the past 10 years, 40% of them have come on the opening lap. So there's going to be, just expect some carnage, guys, because that's what I think is incoming. All right, so I hope Lando at least gets a podium. I definitely do think he does. Definitely do hope he does. Max is an engine penalty. He's doing the last to first challenge. Leclerc starting in 19th. Both of those drivers are going to be trying to get their way through the field, and it'll be very important for Verstappen to get ahead of Leclerc as soon as possible. There is no rain and there's no standing water, but there is a 70% chance of rain according to the FIA. But the FIA always say there's 70% chance of rain when it never rains. So Google said it was a 30% chance of rain. Well, Russell, I mean, it's going to be difficult for Russell to win, because he's going to have to beat out Norris. But we'll wait and see. If Russell gets into the lead, I'll end the poll and I'll restart it again. But it is starting, guys. All the drivers are on the formation lap, I think, or they will be on it in around 2 minutes or so. Hamilton is probably already, Bono, my tyres are dead. And yeah. If Max wins, will you do a face reveal? I don't think I will do a face reveal. Not yet, at least. Still quite a ways away before I plan on doing a face reveal. But But today's winners in Formula 3 have been the winner in Formula 3 was Jack Doohan, an Australian. The winner in Formula 2 was Oscar Piastri, also an Australian. So is this a good sign for Daniel Ricciardo? Last of the late breakers, if he can get a good slipstream into turn 2, then who knows what could happen. And he, by the looks of it, Ricciardo will get a double slipstream off probably Norris and Russell, both of the quickest cars on the grid. So Ricciardo definitely has a good chance. We have some team radio coming through from Lewis Hamilton, so I'm going to play that. Here we go.
So Lewis, the rain that we're seeing on the forecast, there is on the radar rather, there is a little bit that may come towards the very beginning of the race, but it may just miss us. It's sort of fizzling out, but yeah, very unpredictable at the moment.
So that's an official weather update from the Mercedes guys. So just a small % chance of rain, a very small chance of rain, a very tiny, and just right at the start as well. So no big rain chances today. And Petuna Welton asks, any Kiwis? I think we've got quite a few in the chat. Does the map work? The map does work today. So this is it. Welcome along to the Russian Grand Prix. There are 2 DRS zones, one out of turn 1, one out of turn 12. Average speed around this circuit, top speed 200 miles an hour. And there are 18 turns on this track. The most interesting turn of the entire race is going to be lap 1, turn 2. There's 800 meters from the starting grid to turn 2, and everyone's just going to be jostling for position. Turn 4 as well, there's going to be a lot of overtaking there. 2019, Giovinazzi got sandwiched, so watch out for some carnage there as well. Next corner, turn 13, there were loads of overtakes here. Alex Albon on Giovinazzi in 2020. Max Verstappen made tons of overtakes in 2018 at turn 13 as well. So that's a lot to look forward to. The starting tyres, everyone is on either the mediums or the hards, and the top 5 are all on the mediums. So we have the only drivers who are starting on the hards are Alonso, Perez, Gasly, Bottas, Giovinazzi, Leclerc and Verstappen. All of those drivers are on the hards. Everyone else is on the mediums. We have team radio from Fernando Alonso. Let's play that.
Usual reminders. So once the engine fires up, there will be pit speed limiter on. Then you keep pit speed limiter on until you're past pole position. And work these tires on the formation lap. Think about energy management as well.
Yep, so that's all they're telling Fernando Alonso. Just get the correct engine settings and get enough temperature into those tyres, because going to turn 1 you do not want to be locking up, because you're going to lose a lot of positions. So today's starting grid, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, the two drivers, McLaren teammates in 2019, both of them starting alongside each other. Then we have the next 2 drivers, Russell and Hamilton, starting going to be teammates next year in 2022 at Mercedes. Both very capable drivers. Russell on the clean side of the grid though. Next along on the 3rd row of the grid we have Ricciardo and Alonso, both very talented drivers, and both are very good at getting race starts and late braking maneuvers, so watch out for them. Both of them will have a double slipstream as well. Next is Stroll and Perez. Perez will be starting on the hard tyres and the dirty side of the grid, so he is likely to lose quite a lot of positions on this race start today. Then is Ocon and Vettel. Hoping Vettel can do something good. The Aston Martin does have good top speed, so we'll wait and see what he can do. Next, 6th row of the grid, we have Gasly and Tsunoda, 2 AlphaTauris. We'll see if they can combine, and if Gasly pulls away or Tsunoda doesn't. Who pulls away, Gasly or Tsunoda. Next up, we have Raikkonen and Schumacher starting alongside each other, and they are both just looking to maybe score some points, maybe get 10th or 9th place and score some points for their team. Then we have Mazepin and Bottas alongside each other. Bottas is on the hard tyres by the looks of it. He will also have a slow race start with those hard tyres in the dirty side of the grid. Next up is Giovinazzi and Latifi, both of them with Giovinazzi with a gearbox penalty and Latifi with an engine penalty. And then right at the end of the grid, we have Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen doing the last to first challenge on those hard tyres. So this is it. All the drivers are now on the formation lap, warming up their tyres, and they are on their way to the grid. Let's get racing, guys. We've already got 3.5k live viewers, and the race hasn't even started. If you guys haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Will really help out the channel. And if you haven't subscribed as well, that will very much help out, because this could probably be my record stream if we carry on going at this rate. So be sure, thank you everyone for all of the support, and I will start commentating as soon as all the cars are on the grid. Alright guys, the rain there's a very low chance of rain, guys, so there isn't that much rain. Lando Norris has been told to expect rain in the next 5 minutes or so, but there is no rain whatsoever right now. Lando Norris's engineer has just come on the team radio to say expect a bit of rain for the next 10 to 15 minutes, but it's going to be very, very light indeed. And Poland ball, could you not spam so much? Bottas has got a brand new power unit. And so has Latifi, Leclerc and Verstappen. Now just coming through the grid on the final sector of the formation lap, we have Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, all of them just weaving around, getting as much tire temperature as possible. We have team radio from Lance Stroll. Let's play this. Here we go.
Make sure to use the pit board, as I might not hear you very well.
Copy that.
Yep, so they're just having a bit of issues with their communications radio systems. So here we are now, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, all slowing down, coming to the start of the grid and locking into their, getting into the correct positions, correct clutch settings, as they come to the start of the grid, preparing for the race start. All of them have the sufficient tyre temperature and gearbox, well, engine settings as well. It's Brad, don't spam too much. And this is what it is. Max Verstappen is having an issue with recharging his battery. So this is not looking good for Max Verstappen, who needs a good recovery drive today. So Max is getting an issue. We have team radio from Max, in fact. So let's play this. But the race will be starting very, very soon, so I have to start commentating. All right, never mind. Max Verstappen has just said it's all good now. He's just come on the radio and said all good, so that's fine. The top 10 drivers have stopped on the grid, and now we just have the last 10 drivers to stop on the grid, and we will be racing in a matter of seconds now. Here we go. Schumacher has stopped. Next, Mazepin, Bottas, Giovinazzi. Max has not retired, guys. Just want to confirm. Max just came on the radio and said it's all good now, so I'm assuming he's talking about his engine. Everything is fine. Just Leclerc and Verstappen now at the end of the grid, stopping at their positions. Everyone is building up their revs into the correct clutch settings. And here we go, guys. Welcome along to the Russian Grand Prix. It is 5 lights, and lights out and away we go. So a very good start for Lando Norris. Russell has already got the slipstream, and he's already ahead of Sainz. So Ricciardo and Russell both gain positions, and then they both swap back going into turn 1. We'll find out who is actually in the lead. Stroll, massive good start for him. He's up into 4th place. Sainz is in the lead. Norris has lost 1 position. Alonso's up into third place. Wow, what a start from Fernando Alonso. He has had an absolutely electric start. Going down into turn 2, we have Carlos Sainz in the lead. Then is Lando Norris. Then George Russell. And Alonso and Stroll, both drivers getting a double, triple slipstream from everyone, have gained loads of positions. Thank you, Alex France, for the donation. Very much do appreciate it. And then Verstappen has gained 1 position. Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher. Tsunoda's lost 6 positions. In fact, he's had a horrible race start. Pierre Gasly also losing positions. Leclerc is up 6. He started 19th all the way up to 13th place for him. Amazing start from Charles Leclerc. He's the quickest. Well, he's had the best race start out of everyone today. But Sainz is in the lead. And Lando Norris is chasing him down quick. Because Norris got the quicker top speed and the quicker car. The map is lagging. It's currently just fixed itself now, but an amazing start from there now. So then we have Stroll in 4th place, and he is he's just flying really. He's also trying to overtake George Russell now. 5 tenths is a gap between the 2 drivers. Stroll, this is his best chance to overtake George Russell before DRS gets enabled, because once DRS is enabled, there will be a DRS train for sure. And here we go then. All right, next up on track, we have Charles Leclerc trying to make an overtake on his old teammate Seb Vettel, but Vettel's trying to make an overtake on Raikkonen. They're both all in a slipstream strain, looking to go 3 wide into turn 2 on lap number 2. Absolutely amazing racing today. And yeah, thank you, White Point, for the donation. Do appreciate it. You donated yesterday as well, so thank you for all of the support. And yeah, do appreciate it. Hamilton is down into 7th place, guys. Hamilton needed to get a good race start, but unfortunately he is down in 7th place. He's just been overtaken. He's just overtaken Alonso, but it's still nowhere near where he needs to be. Verstappen has gained another position on Antonio Giovinazzi. Schumacher and Tsunoda both dropped back to the back of the grid. So those guys not having a good race start. Looks like they didn't get enough tire temperature. We have a yellow flag out on track now. I'll let you know what that is for, but by the looks of it, everyone is driving around just fine. So I don't know exactly what the yellow flag's for. But Danny Rick has got the quickest first sector. He's got a very big toe off everyone else. And he's flying back to green flag racing. All right, so Stroll is trying to make a move on Russell. DRS will be enabled next lap, and it's looking good. Okay. Charles Leclerc's made his way from 19th place all the way up into 12th place. So Leclerc having an absolutely electric start. Just right now on the back of Vettel, having the slipstream, but still not enough pace to overtake him. That Ferrari engine does not have enough top speed for the likes of overtaking around this circuit here. And yeah. Lando Norris's engineer did tell him to expect rain right about now. So in 2 minutes or so, the rain should be coming, but it's going to be very, very light rain, not very heavy rain whatsoever. And yeah, so just keep an eye out for that, guys. And yeah. Sainz is flying for sure. Hamilton, though, fastest lap overall. So Hamilton is pushing. He needs to overtake the McLaren of Danny Rick, and Danny Rick's not going to make it easy on him because Danny Rick, obviously last of the late breakers, and with the amazing top speed of that McLaren, he's going to make it very difficult for Lewis Hamilton to overtake. We have some team radio from Carlos Sainz, who's currently in the lead of the race, so let's listen to this.
And look after your tyres. Behind Lando is Russell, Stroll, Alonso, and then Hamilton P6.
Oh, okay, so that was it. They were just telling Sainz to manage his tyres because Sainz, on the pre-race interview, he was saying that the Ferrari is not good on its tyres. It's not good on the front tyres in cold conditions. And in Sochi, it's quite cold relatively for Formula 1 cars. Only 19 degrees air temperature, so Sainz will be struggling with his front tyres, and Lando Norris is taking full advantage, and he's closing the gap down, so just 1.4 seconds of the gap between the two drivers, and Hamilton has set another fastest lap of the race with another quickest first sector. So he is pushing. Perez now coming to put pressure onto Hamilton. Perez has overtaken Alonso. Alonso is up in 3rd place on lap 1, and he has fallen back more and more. Carlos Sainz sets the fastest lap of the race, so the Ferrari has finally got some tire temperature, and they are driving very, very well indeed. So looking at the race start, Lewis Hamilton tried to go down the inside of Lando Norris, but Lando Norris Lando Norris blocked him. It was a very safe block. It wasn't aggressive or anything. And then Hamilton just losing out loads of positions overall on the entire race start. So that's why he's down in 6th place now. And Perez will be applying pressure very, very soon indeed. Hamilton does once again have the quickest first sector. He's got the slipstream off Danny Rick, and the DRS has been enabled as well. So that is why he's getting the quickest first sectors. His 4/10 is the gap between himself and Daniel Ricciardo. But the long turn 4 is not helping out, because all of the dirty air that he gets from turn 4, he just loses out all of the time that he gained on the straight. Looking back to at the back of the grid now, Max Verstappen makes up another place on Nikita Mazepin, and so does Valtteri Bottas. So both drivers making steady progress up from they were on 20th place for Max Verstappen on lap 0, and now he's up into 15th place on lap number 3. So good progress from Max Verstappen, and Leclerc has sort of stalled, had an amazing race start, gained 6 positions, and is stuck in 12th place now behind Seb Vettel, his former teammate. Perez has now set fastest lap of the race, so Hamilton will be feeling the pressure because Perez with the Red Bull, which has a very good top speed, will be trying to stop Hamilton scoring as many points as possible and just act like a moving chicane, not let Hamilton get past, let Max Verstappen catch up, and then they can have a straight fight there. We have team radio from Sergio Perez, in fact, so let's play this.
Nice move. Let's stay on Hamilton.
Yep, that's exactly what Red Bull was saying. Just push and try and get Hamilton here. So that's what's happening there. Quickest lap from Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas looks like he got a very big toe off Pierre Gasly in the first sector. Yeah, he was around about 6/10 quicker alone in the first sector. So very good job from Valtteri Bottas to get a good exit out of the final corner. Also, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. There's 5,000 of you watching, which is my second highest ever. So if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Will very much help out the channel, and be sure to subscribe as well. Trying to hit 10k by the end of the year, and maybe if all of you guys subscribe, it is possible. Back to the stream now. Perez has caught up to Hamilton and he is applying the pressure. Danny Rick is is holding Hamilton up as well as he can with the DRS and the pace that McLaren has. Stroll up in 4th place. Haven't talked about him. He got an amazing start. Gained 4 positions on the race start, 3 or 4 positions. We have team radio from Stroll, in fact. So let's play this.
We think rain is reducing. So we need to do something about Russell.
All right, so they are saying that there is no rain on the way now. So Stroll is talking about, well, Stroll's engineer is saying we need to get a move on and overtake Russell. The gap between Stroll and Russell is 6/10, and Stroll is pushing fast. You can see green in first and second sectors, and he's using every single bit of track limits he can find. Sainz sets another fastest lap of the race, so he is setting he's got very good pace, and Norris cannot keep up. 2 seconds of the gap, and Sainz has extended it very, very much. What happened to Mick and Tsunoda? Both of those drivers had a very slow race start. I think they just didn't have enough tyre temperature, so that's what it is. And the likes actually flew up from 400 to 500. So thank you everyone for liking and subscribing. Do appreciate all the support. Oh my God, so many of you just subscribed. Wow. Can we get the infinity counter? I will do that later because this race is way too exciting. So there's a DRS train forming now behind Russell. Choo-choo. We have Russell, Stroll, Ricciardo, Hamilton, and Perez all in the DRS train. And Sainz has just pulled away. So Sainz and Norris have just checked out. And then Russell is forming a train in 3rd place. And we'll see if he can hold on to that 3rd place, because Williams does have the highest top speed. So that's in Russell's favour now. And Russell, as we know, is a very capable driver. Max Verstappen still not been able to overtake Valtteri Bottas yet, and Valtteri Bottas is now attempting to overtake Pierre Gasly. So we have a DRS train forming behind Kimi Raikkonen as well. Kimi Raikkonen, Vettel, Leclerc, Gasly, Bottas, Verstappen. All of them are in a DRS train as well. So once the DRS trains, we'll see the DRS trains breaking up in a few laps when the tyre wear kicks in. All right, so let's see what else there is. Max Verstappen is on the hard tyres and makes a move stick on Valtteri Bottas. Amazing move into turn 13. Just swoops around the outside for turn 12 and then on the brakes into turn 13 and just puts it up the inside, and Valtteri Bottas has nothing to defend against. And on the hard tyres, both Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. So it's going to be harder for them to make the moves, but both of them have quicker cars as well. So Max Verstappen made another move up into 14th place after 6 laps of this race. So 1 position per lap. We have team radio from Lando Norris. Let's play this. Here we go.
Yeah, tyres, a little bit of R2, R3 rear. Definitely being held up a little bit.
Alright, so Lando Norris is complaining slightly about tyre wear. His tyres are slightly overheating and he's getting held up a bit as well. And looking at the pace from George Russell still has pace in the tank. He's putting green sectors in every single lap. And so Russell's still got tyre life, and Stroll is getting very, very difficult to overtake. Well, Stroll's finding it very difficult to overtake George Russell. Verstappen sets the quickest first sector, getting a massive toe off Pierre Gasly, but he's still unable to make the move on his on the sister team of Red Bull. All right, the race has sort of settled down. There's still a DRS train behind Russell, and still a DRS train behind Kimi Raikkonen. All right, I need to get a drink because my throat is going to hurt. Oh my god, my throat's going to hurt in a bit. All right. Here we are then. All right, back to the race. Going through turn number 13, I think Max Verstappen is using 4th gear and Valtteri Bottas is using 3rd gear. So that's why Verstappen found it so easy to make a move around the outside. Well, down the inside, sorry. Well, let's listen to his team radio. Here we go.
And more info. Currently Hamilton's 6th. Checo is right behind him.
Max Verstappen just getting some encouraging news over team radio. Perez is right behind Hamilton and he is applying the pressure. So if Perez can get in front of Hamilton, Red Bull will just be like, all right, Perez, just slow it down a bit. Don't let Hamilton get past you and let's just let Max catch up. All right, guys. There are 5,000 of you watching. Just what I'm going to do, I'm going to refresh the map so it stops lagging. And then the screen will go black for about 3 seconds and then it'll be back. So don't worry about that. There it goes. We will be back in literally a second. Here we are. 1, 2, and it loads up. All right, well, it's taking a bit of a while because my internet's a bit slow. But here we are. All right, back to the race now. We have Esteban Ocon still in 9th place, and both Alpines 8th and 9th place for both Alpines, and they're not being able to make up any moves whatsoever. Why are so many people surprised that Russell's in P3? He's very capable of defending. That's a very good point. Russell's still in P3, and with the quickest car in straight line, is very much helping him out. So Danny Rick has just come on the team radio and said it might be Plan B because he is stuck in dirty air, and his tyre wear is getting a bit of an issue. So he might be doing a 2-stop strategy here because tyre wear is a very big issue around Sochi. And if you're stuck in dirty air like you are in a DRS train, because he's stuck behind Russell, Stroll, and all of the warm air coming off their engines is heating up his tyres, and that is why Daniel Ricciardo may have to do a 2-stopper, and so may Lewis Hamilton. So Max Verstappen makes the move on Pierre Gasly. Good move from him. I think it was made down at turn 2 as well. So good job from Max Verstappen to make a move. Now he's caught up to Leclerc. Let's see if he can get past him. Both drivers started 19th and 20th on the grid respectively. And yeah. All right, we're 8 laps into the race now, and a very, very good job indeed from all of the drivers. There's been no retirements just yet, and by the looks of it, everyone's driving rather cleanly. No risky moves as of yet to see. Perez is still gaining on Hamilton, but by the looks of it, his tyres are starting to wear out, and I think Perez is on the hards, whereas Hamilton's on the mediums. So Perez is going to have a very difficult time trying to make a move stick. All right, yeah. Perez is on the hards and Hamilton's on the mediums. So that's why Perez is finding it so difficult to make a move on Lewis Hamilton, because he's got the slower tyres. Within probably 10 laps or so, the hard tyres will be quicker than the mediums. And here we go. Lando Norris has caught up to Carlos Sainz. Sainz made a mistake, and Norris is 3/10 behind him. Got a purple middle sector going down the straight. Can he make a move into turn 13? No, he cannot. He's not close enough to make a move. But both of the drivers going nose to tail in sector 3, and they're going to be trying to get the perfect exit out the final corner. Norris will have DRS going down the main straight, and we'll see if he can pull off a successful move on Carlos Sainz into turn 2. Weather update: there is no chance of any rain. Norris has closed the gap here, and going down the straight now, Norris has the DRS, but can he gain enough on Carlos Sainz? He gains 2/10 within a very small distance, and he's in the slipstream. 2/10 now side by side going into turn 2. Will Norris be able to pull off a move on Carlos Sainz? No, he can't. He decides to back out and not go for the move. Sainz still retains the lead going into turn 4. The dirty air is not helping out Lando Norris's tyres, and Norris will have to make that move quickly, because those tyres will start overheating very, very soon indeed. Right, here we go then. The battle at the front for the lead is on. This is it. Stroll still unable to make a move on Russell, so the battle for 3rd place and the podium is looking rather stale, because Russell is very, very good at defending and maintaining the gap, and Perez not being able to make any inroads on Hamilton. But look, getting back to the battle at the front, we have Sainz and Norris, both of them extending track limits to the absolute, both of them running all over the curbs. And the vibrations are going all through the car. Norris has slipstream and DRS again, again, once again, side by side, 2 tenths is a gap. Can he get past Carlos Sainz? No, he cannot. Once again, decides to back out. So Lando Norris being very, very safe here. He does not want to throw away all of the key points that he's going to get, because the battle between Ferrari and McLaren for 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship is very important. There's £6 million on the line, depending on who gets 3rd and who gets 4th place. So Lando Norris does not want to throw away all of these points. He's being very, very cautious indeed. We have team radio from Lewis Hamilton, and I'm expecting a Bono, my tyres are dead.
Right now, my left front.
Yep, so he's just said Hamilton has got graining on the left front from on his tyres, so his tyres are starting to wear out 10 laps into the race. The medium tyres should be going around about 25 laps or so. So Hamilton is going to have to manage those tyres, or maybe go for a 2-stop strategy. We'll have to wait and see. But Sainz and Norris, once again, 1.5 tenths is the gap between the two drivers, and Norris does not try and make a move. The Norris is just falling. His tyres are overheating, and it's getting harder and harder for him to stick with Carlos Sainz, even though he's pumping in quickest middle sectors every single lap. Wow, what a race, guys. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do that. This could definitely become one of my record streams if you do that. So, yeah, and if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I'm trying to hit 10k by the end of the year. So, if you guys do subscribe, it will help me get to my goal. But Sainz, Leclerc makes the move on Seb Vettel. Vettel does an amazing switchback, gets past him, and Verstappen gets squeezed by Leclerc, and so very risky move from Leclerc, defending against Verstappen very violently. We have team radio from Danny Rick.
Yep, so Russell seems pretty consistent. Stroll losing a little bit of rear.
Copy.
I'm pretty even at the moment, tyres. Both axles similar deck.
All right, so what Danny Rick was referring to was Stroll's rear tyres are getting worn out a lot quicker than his front tyres, so Stroll's getting a lot of oversteer, whereas Ricciardo's front and rear tyres are getting worn out evenly, so he has got a stable car, but Stroll is struggling for oversteer, and Danny Rick is taking advantage now. With the slipstream, he's gaining, and he's 7 tenths behind Stroll, so one more lap of pushing really hard, and Stroll could potentially lose his position. The gap at the front between Sainz and Norris. Sainz obviously took the lead of the race into turn 2 on lap 1, and he has held the lead ever since. Norris has tried to overtake him 3 times. Each time he's backed out and tried to play it safe because he does not want to lose positions. Max Verstappen comes on the radio, and after the aggressive move from Charles Leclerc, says that the front wing is fine, there is no damage on it, and Verstappen also makes the move on Leclerc going into turn 2. So good move from Verstappen. Next up is Seb Vettel, and then he will be on the edge of the points. Bottas still in 15th place, sets the quickest first sector, but not being able to gain any positions or overtake Pierre Gasly. The Mercedes very much stuck behind Gasly as they were in Monaco. Yeah. All right. Looking back. Right at the back of the grid, Tsunoda and Schumacher are sort of battling away, but they're not getting much TV coverage because the battle of the front is so interesting. And yeah, just an amazing race so far. We will be coming up to the pit stops very, very soon. I think next 10 laps or so we'll be coming up to the pit stop windows, and whoever has more tyre deg will go for a 2-stop strategy, and we'll wait and see which strategy is the best. The strategies for today's race are the mediums to the hards, or the hards to the mediums. But if you get too much tyre wear, then you will be pitting exactly like Lance Stroll. Stroll pits and goes pits on those medium tyres. So it looks like Stroll will be doing a 2-stopper, pits on lap 11, and is dropping all the way down the field now. Probably will come out in 15th or so place. And he will come out on the hard tyres going for a 2-stop strategy. Norris is just being informed of that on the team radio. So Russell, the gap between Ricciardo and Russell is now 2 seconds, and Ricciardo will try and get that 3rd place to maybe conceal a McLaren 2-3. Sainz has come over the radio. Oh no, Norris has come over the radio and says my front left is completely gone, and he drops out of DRS range of Carlos Sainz, but saying that he's back in DRS range now. So it looks like Lando Norris has got some more performance in that front left to go before it completely is dead. And yeah, all right, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed or liked, be sure to do that. But getting back to the stream, Norris once again trying to make a move on Carlos Sainz. He is side by side going into turn 30, and Norris makes a move. Right, amazing move from Norris. Just goes down the inside. Clinical textbook overtake from Lando Norris, and Sainz has nothing to fight back with. Going through into the final corner now. Carlos Sainz will have the slipstream and he will have the DRS. So Norris will have to watch out for Sainz into turn 2 and will be checking his mirrors. Meanwhile, that happens. We have team radio from Sergio Perez. Let's play this.
People are starting to struggle. Just make sure that front left, look after it. And brake for the right-hand turns when you need it.
Alright, so everyone else is starting to struggle. That's what's come on the radio. George Russell pits this lap. So will the undercut work for Lance Stroll? Because Stroll was 1 second behind George Russell, and Stroll has done the undercut, and we'll see if Stroll comes out ahead of George Russell or behind. But back at the front, Lando Norris has regained the lead, and Carlos Sainz cannot fight back. The slow top speed of the Ferrari is not helping him today, and he is just falling back. Well, he's lost the position to Norris. Now it's a McLaren 1-3, and Russell comes out just ahead of Stroll. The gap is very, very marginal. We'll wait and see the exact gap. Latifi and Tsunoda both pit, but in fact, Stroll has just undercut George Russell. So George Russell's now in 4th place, and Stroll has pulled off the undercut. So the undercut is very powerful around the circuit. Stroll in fact gained 2 full seconds on the undercut, only over 1 lap. So if anyone does want to make a move, then the undercut is the way to go. So maybe Ferrari will be looking at that, because their pace is falling off and Lando Norris is pulling away. Lando Norris once again sets the fastest lap of the race, and yeah, 13 laps in, and Max Verstappen is up into 9th place. So started P20, now up into 9th place. Very good job from Max Verstappen. And it looks like George Russell had a slightly slow pit stop. It wasn't particularly slow, but it was 2.5 seconds, whereas it could have been 2 seconds, and that's sort of what cost him the position to Lance Stroll. So Stroll now has the advantage and is in a net P3. And we'll wait and see if Danny Rick decides to go on to plan B or if he sticks with plan A. Yeah, alright, wow. 6,000 viewers, this is the second highest stream. The highest we've ever got is 7.4k, and that was in Hungary. Next person to pick, Carlos Sainz. As I was saying, Sainz will try and do the undercut to maybe get back at Lando Norris. So Sainz puts in the Ferrari still have pace on the hard compound tyres. Charles Leclerc set the fastest lap of the race, quickly taken away by Lance Stroll. So the hard tyres have lots of pace because they're setting fastest laps of the race. That actually rhymed, wow. But anyway, Carlos Sainz, he pits onto the hard tyres, and we'll see if they can make an undercut work. But it's flashbacks to Monza now. A McLaren 1-2, but this time it's roles reversed. Lando Norris in P1, Danny Rick in P2, and look at this. All right, guys. It's looking good for Kimi Räikkönen, but Kimi Räikkönen is still yet to pit. Sainz comes out ahead of Stroll. Can Stroll pull off the double undercut and maybe get ahead of Carlos Sainz as well? No, he cannot, but there's a 1 second gap between Stroll and Sainz. And with Stroll having the warmed up tyres and previously just setting the fastest lap of the race, there is an advantage Stroll, and he is trying his utmost best to try and get past Carlos Sainz, because this is his best chance and maybe securing P2 for Aston Martin. All right. We'll see if Lando Norris decides to come in this lap. His sectors have not been that quick. Not a personal best first sector or middle sector. Does he decide to pit and to protect against the undercut? No, he does not. He sets a good third sector time, and Lando Norris is not defending against the undercut. Very good. Well, McLaren are playing a risky strategy here, because the hard tyres on that Aston Martin is very quick, and on the Ferrari, both of the cars are very quick on those hard tyres. So we'll wait and see if that is a correct strategy call from McLaren. But we have Esteban Ocon and Kimi Räikkönen both going into the pits now, and the only drivers, well, there's quite a lot of drivers still yet to pit. Most of them are hard tyre runners. Max Verstappen up into 6th place, but he still does have to pit, so he's in a net around about P10, I think. Perez does need to get past Hamilton now, and it's around about this stage of the race, 10 laps in or 12 laps in, where the hard tyres are starting to become quicker than the mediums. So the gap between Perez and Hamilton will be closing down, and but Perez has just got team radio information to start conserving his tires, so we'll wait and see what he does. Team radio from Max Verstappen, let's play this.
So things are starting to move around up front. Stroll has pitted, Russell has now pitted.
Okay, let's see what pace they got now.
Alright, so Red Bull are keeping an eye on Stroll and Russell to see what pace they have on those hard tyres, and if it is the correct strategy call to switch off onto the mediums, or if not. Alright, guys. How many laps are in the race? There are 53 laps in the race, and there are 38 laps remaining. Yeah, it's a very exciting race indeed today. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Will very much help out the channel. And yeah, maybe we've hit 9k or not. We'll see. I'll in fact just check right now, in fact. Oh, we've hit 9k. Well, guys, thank you for the support. We're only 900 subscribers away. If we could hit 10k, that would be absolutely amazing in today's stream. Max Verstappen says the fastest lap of the race on used hard tyres. So Verstappen has been driving rather conservatively, if he can say fastest lap of the race with no slipstream and DRS. We have team radio from Lewis Hamilton. Let's play this. Here we go.
And if you can update your tyre switch.
Yep, so they were just getting the correct information on the tyres, but both McLarens up in P1 and 2, and it's looking good for those guys. Hamilton is pushing, though. Hamilton's closed up to Ricciardo, and we'll see if Ricciardo can hold him off. Obviously, last of the late breakers, it's going to be difficult to overtake Ricciardo, but if anyone can do it, it will be Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes. The tyres, there's no tyres are dead just yet, but Hamilton did come on the radio a few laps ago complaining about his tyres, so that's all right, because we haven't forgot about that just yet, and yeah. Alrighty, so back in the lead of this race, we have just Lando Norris is maintaining the pace, setting green sectors, and we'll see if Carlos Sainz can actually be quicker than him, because on the previous lap time, 5/10 quicker was Carlos Sainz compared to Lando Norris, and that was so if Carlos Sainz carries up with that pace, and if Lando Norris continues with his pace, then Carlos Sainz will pull off the undercut on Lando Norris, and he will regain the lead of this race. What are the conditions of Lando's tyres? Well, he is setting green sectors, so Lando Norris has still got life in those tyres, but it is very, very difficult to manage them, especially coming up to 15 laps on those medium tyres. It's going to get a lot harder now from the next 10 laps. Max is definitely swallowing away that interval. It's now 3.3 seconds and another fastest lap of the race and a quickest middle sector. So Max is just an absolute rocket ship in P6 today. And yeah, just an amazing job from him overall. Perez still not being able to overtake Lewis Hamilton. We'll find out if he can actually do it, or maybe he'll use some pit stop strategies to do it now. But the net lead of the race is between Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, and we'll have to find out who is going to, if the undercut works or if the overcut works. You lose 24 seconds in the pit lane, and we'll find out. If Lewis wins, Bottas is second or third, and Max disqualified, I'll donate $50. Sure. Why not? I don't think that's going to happen, but you can do that if you want. Alright. So, the DRS trains have been broken up by the pit stops. Bottas is still stuck behind Pierre Gasly, just exactly like it was in Monaco. Bottas, all he's going to be seeing all race long is he's just going to be seeing that massive Honda sign on the Red Bull, on the rear wing of the AlphaTauri. Max Verstappen sets another fastest lap of the race and another quickest middle sector. So this guy is just, he says his front left tyre is struggling. That's what Max Verstappen says on the team radio, but the fastest laps don't agree with that. We have team radio from Lando Norris, who's in the lead of the race now. Let's listen to this.
I think the track improvement is masking the deck at the moment, but pace is still good.
Alright, so Lando Norris is saying the track is improving quicker and quicker, so that is why his tyre wears, that's why the tyre wear isn't so obvious. Max Verstappen, another fastest lap of the race. Wow, this guy is on fire. Thanks Multi Ninja for banning that person. And Hamilton's got a lot of company out for P2. He has got Perez behind him and Danny Rick in front of him. So the battle for P2 is on now. And with Max Verstappen closing in, it's going to be very easy indeed for Verstappen to get the move done on Lewis Hamilton. So next up is Fernando Alonso on for Max Verstappen, and we'll see if he can make the move stick on him. And by the looks of it, with the amazing pace that he does have, it will be an absolute piece of cake for him. Further down the field, Bottas still stuck behind Gasly, Giovinazzi yet to pit, and neither is Schumacher. And everyone who has pit is currently on the hard tyres, and the 3 drivers in the lead and Seb Vettel are the only medium tyre runners not yet to pit. Mick Schumacher as well. We have team radio from Esteban Ocon. He's just been sitting in a lonely 15th place for the entire race, not been doing that good of a job compared to his teammate, but let's listen to what he has to say.
Okay, so that lap time is to protect against cars that haven't stopped yet. So we're looking for high 41 lap times. To
protect against cars who haven't stopped, high 41s is what they're looking for. And is Esteban Ocon putting that in? Oh, Esteban Ocon is putting in the good lap times. And yeah. All right. Russell is down in 13th place, but that is because he is pitted, and the top 10 have still not pitted yet, so that's why. Yeah. Oh my god, these mmfooty.com guys are just coming through. All right, we have team radio from Lewis Hamilton. I'm expecting a Bono, my tyres are dead. Let's listen to the team radio. Here we go.
So Lewis placed the cars that have stopped already slightly slower, but it's not a big difference. We are still going to go for that target +8.
Okay, so they're going 8 laps extra on their stint. That's what Mercedes are saying. The pit stops are 24 seconds long at Sochi. So there's that, and there are 34 laps remaining of the race today. Still, it will be around about 5 or so laps that Norris, Ricciardo, and Hamilton decide to pit, and so does Seb Vettel. After that, it will only be the hard tyre runners out at the front of the race. Can you set the team radio audio any louder? I can't, unfortunately. I've set it on the max, but I'll bring it close to my microphone next time. Lando is extending that advantage, and he is consistently only 1/10 slower than Carlos Sainz. So if he goes on those medium tyres too long, Carlos Sainz will have the undercut on him. But of course, he will have extra 5 laps of tyre wear on his tyres as well. So it's risk versus reward. Where do you go and when do you pit so you come out in the lead of this race, and when to not? Are we going to ignore Pierre Gasly? Pierre Gasly's in 9th place. Had a solid race, really. Tsunoda would also be up in 9th place, but Tsunoda had a very bad race start. We are on lap number 20 of the race. And yeah. All right then. Looking at Charles Leclerc, he has been able to follow Max Verstappen through the back of the grid, from the back of the grid. So he was in P19 at the start of the race, and he has made himself up into P7. Good overtaking from him throughout the race, gained 6 positions on the opening lap, and has just slowly progressed his way up. Now stuck behind... Well, now he's behind Max Verstappen, and Verstappen has closed up to Alonso. He's got the DRS as well, so it'll only be a matter of laps or so before we see Max Verstappen make a move on Fernando Alonso. Currently going through the middle sector now. Maybe the start finish, the back straight will be where he makes the move. I know there has been so much action, and we're only 20 laps in, you know. And Lewis Hamilton, we've got team radio. They have said, get ready to undercut him. So Lewis Hamilton will be boxing very, very soon to try and undercut. Danny Rick. DSC Beamer, thank you for the donation. Awesome stream, subscribed. I see the balance has been restored, and Mazvin is bringing up the rear. Yeah. Well, thank you for the donation. Very much does help out the channel. Mick Schumacher has pitted now. So the only drivers out on the medium tyres are Norris, Ricciardo, Hamilton, and Vettel. And then here we go then. Hamilton will be preparing for the undercut, putting in the fastest laps of the race, and the other guys will have heard this on the team radio, so they will also be preparing for the undercut. Perez is in fact only 3/10 behind Lewis Hamilton. He is also getting the slipstream going down the straight, but can he make the move into turn 2? No, he cannot. It's too far back, and the dirty air is not helping him really. So next two or three laps, Lewis Hamilton will be pitting to get an undercut on Daniel Ricciardo, or maybe it's just a 4D chess strategy from the Mercedes team to try and send the other guys. There are 32 laps remaining of this race, and each lap is around 1:40, so probably, I don't know, an hour and a half left. No, just an hour or so, I guess. Thank you, Siddharth, for the 9k sub. Congratulations. Well, if we could hit 10k today, that would be very cool. And I think with all of you guys that are watching, we could definitely do it. We're actually quite close to 9.5k, so if all you guys do subscribe, that would help out. We have team radio from Danny Rick, so let's play this. Oh, it's just disappeared. Here we go. Daniel Ricciardo team radio.
Ham 0.9. Correction, Ham does not have DRS.
Yep, so they're just informing whether they're informing Daniel Ricciardo whether Hamilton is DRS or not, because that's going to affect how he decides to use the battery going down the straight. 9/10 is the gap between the two drivers, and we'll see if Hamilton will actually make the move, stick on Daniel Ricciardo, or if he goes into pits. Danny Rick goes into the pits. Okay, so let's see if Hamilton decides to go for the undercut, or if he decides to go for the overcut, or just pit with Daniel Ricciardo. Okay, so Ricciardo's gone for the undercut on Lewis Hamilton to try and extend his advantage, and Hamilton now has got clean air to try and chase down Lando Norris. We'll see what he can do, but Perez now... Hamilton has no DRS, and now Perez will have DRS. So this is a prime opportunity for Perez to make a move on Lewis Hamilton, and it will very much help out Max Verstappen in the long run as well. Max Verstappen has been stuck behind Fernando Alonso for the past few laps. 8/10 is the gap between the two drivers, and Max Verstappen is not being able to find a way past. It looks like there's too much tyre wear on his... too much tyre wear on his hard tyres and not being able to find a way through. Leclerc sets the quickest first sector, Bottas sets the quickest middle sector, and no one yet has broke the fastest lap record, which is held by Max Verstappen. Ricciardo comes out of the pits, a fairly clean pit stop from the McLaren boys. It might be a bit longer, in fact. I think Ricciardo might have had a slow pit stop. I will just check for you if Ricciardo has a slow pit stop. And yeah, all right. Danny Rick has a slightly slow... Yeah, Danny Rick has a slow pit stop. Oh, no. Can we get an F in the chat for Daniel Ricciardo? Had an 8-second long pit stop, and that has completely screwed his race. So he was down in... He was up in second place, and now he would have lost loads of positions because of that slow pit stop. So can we get an F in the chat for Daniel Ricciardo? I think he's lost his podium position, which is very unfortunate for him. Next up is, well, Daniel Ricciardo, he's lost all of his pace, but he has lost all of his positions, but he still does have the pace. He's got those fresh hard tyres and is setting the quickest middle sector. Hamilton sets green sectors, and he is getting past. All right, guys, that's a lot of Fs in the chat. Wow. And also, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked or subscribed, that would very much help out, because we're about to hit 1,000 likes and about to hit 10k subs, or well, 9.5k subs, which is very nice indeed. All right, back to the race now. Verstappen still stuck behind Alonso. Verstappen now not using all of the track limits. By the looks of it, his tyres are coming to an end of their life. Or he's just conserving the tyres because he does not want to push, especially with all of the vibrations you get from going over all of the curbs. So Verstappen playing the long game and just driving rather slowly and conserving those tyres. Also, guys, that's enough Fs in the chat, because it seems like it's just a bit of a spam now. But I'll play Lando Norris team radio. Here we go.
Okay, Lando, gap to Vettel, 25.4. This is almost the Germany situation. We want to extend if we can, but no risk. Pace is good.
Okay, so what they have said, what McLaren have said, is that they want to extend the gap as much as possible, but if they are going to lose pace on those medium tyres, then they're going to abort the extension of the pit stop, and they're just going to carry on like normal. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, I've seen quite a few of you guys that are spamming the Fs, so I'd appreciate if you didn't. Okay, here we go then. We have team radio from Sergio Perez as well, so we'll get some info on what Perez is trying to do with the strategy. Here we go.
He's lost his toe. Come on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Lewis Hamilton no longer has a toe anymore, so this is going to be Perez's best opportunity to try and overtake him. Very good job from Perez, and we've just hit 7K viewers as well. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much. Very much do appreciate it. And yeah, all right. Daniel Ricciardo, the man who lost loads of positions because of his slow pit stop, is now set fastest lap of the race, quicker than Max Verstappen, in fact. So Ricciardo's going to do his best to fight back. He's now got to overtake Russell and Stroll, and we'll see if he can actually pull that off in that rocket ship of a McLaren. Here we go then. Verstappen has started to struggle behind the dirty air of Alonso as well. So Leclerc is starting to catch up, and that's going to be a problem for Max Verstappen because Leclerc is a very good overtaker. And both of those, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, have quite a lot of history between each other. So they do not want to get into an aggressive battle between each other and take each other out. Especially at the halfway point of the race now, everyone has been driving so well. And there's been no retirement so far. And in fact, there's only been, I think, 12 races in the history of Formula One. So right from the 1950s to now, that we haven't had a single DNF. So it's looking good that we might even break that record. We'll have to wait and see on that. But 28 laps remaining, and Valtteri Bottas has set the quickest middle sector, but yet again is still stuck behind that AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. It's not looking good for him, but it's that Mercedes just cannot overtake. And Hamilton was experiencing the exact same, being stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo. All right. So the rest of the top 10 is the top 9, in fact, have not pitted just yet, and all of them are just desperately holding onto their tyres because there is a small chance of rain, apparently, according to the radar, but everyone is just trying to hold on to their tyres for as long as possible without pitting, because just in case the rain falls, they want to pit for the right time rather than have to pit for dry tyres because the tyres wore out and then have to pit again for the slicks, for the inters, sorry. So with Verstappen struggling, Hamilton is pulling more of a gap away from Perez. Well, pulling more of a net gap away from Max Verstappen, which is going to help him out. And Alonso is still separating Red Bull and, well, the two Red Bull drivers. So here we go then. We have team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's see what he has to say. Oops, it's just his... Oh, here we go.
I'll try to hang in there.
Okay.
Yep, so that's what he's just said. Max Verstappen is trying to hang in there because these tyres are getting to a stage where they're becoming very, very difficult to drive, especially with the fact that he's been in dirty air since the start of the race. Started P20, up into P5 now, halfway through the race. And we'll wait and see if his tyres can hold on any longer. Hamilton bites the bullet and he goes into the pit lane. We'll see if he comes out ahead of Sainz or Stroll. But if Hamilton is pitting, it's very, very likely that Lando Norris will also be pitting very, very soon. There are 27 laps remaining of this race, and the undercut works by... if Hamilton pits on lap number 27, his tyres on lap number 28 will be very fresh tyres. He won't have used them before, whereas Lando Norris will have 28 lap old tyres on lap 28. So the fresh tyres are quicker than the old tyres, so therefore you can do a quicker lap time and then you get past the other driver. So that is why Hamilton has gone for the undercut onto the hard tyres, and we'll see if he can overtake Lando Norris through the undercut, or Lando Norris will have enough pace to pull through. Verstappen also does box, and so does Seb Vettel. Verstappen is coming out on the medium tyres. He has to do the rest of the race, 27 laps on those medium tyres. Can he do that? It will be a bit of a stretch, but Max Verstappen is very good at tyre management, so we'll wait. So that is looking very good for him. In fact, Lance Stroll has just undercut Lewis Hamilton. He has got 14 lap old hard tyres, whereas Hamilton has got 0 lap old hard tyres. But Stroll has undercut Lewis Hamilton, so a very good job from Lance Stroll. But he's going to have a very tough time defending against Lewis Hamilton with those fresh tyres. And let's see if Lando Norris decides to come into the pits now. He has put in a first and second sector, which were rather slow, in fact. And then he does not pit on that lap as well. So Lando Norris is not pitting, so he's going for the overcut strategy, and he does not have any sort of quick pace whatsoever. Perez is in P2, and he is set fastest lap of the race, well, fastest third sector, and he will be he will just try and get as close to Lando Norris as possible. We have team radio from Lando Norris, and we'll maybe get insight into what their strategy is today.
How many more laps at this pace can you do?
I don't know, it feels very consistent at the moment. I feel like 10, but I'm not sure.
So Lando Norris is not sure of how many laps he can do on that pace, on those tires for how long, and well, he's gonna have to decide very, very quickly, because Hamilton is flying on those hard tires. Quickest second and third sector, he will cross the line and he will get fastest lap of the race the next lap he does. So Lando Norris and McLaren are gonna have to make a decision very, very quick indeed, whether to pit or whether not to pit, because it's going to be just very, very important for their chances of winning the race. Very critical decisions that they've got to make. And Lando definitely could get the first win. Stroll could help out with Lando Norris by blocking Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton now 2/10 behind Stroll, unable to find a way past coming out of turn 4, and he is putting the pressure on to Stroll, but Stroll is defending very well, and he does have the Mercedes engine in the back of his car as well, so the top speed is good. Verstappen makes a move on Russell, so now the only people separating Verstappen and Hamilton is Daniel Ricciardo and a 5-second gap. So if Stroll blocks Hamilton for long enough and Verstappen can make a quick move on Danny Rick, then it looks like we're going to have a very tasty battle indeed between Hamilton and Verstappen. But here comes Lando Norris. Lando Norris has finally pitted, so we may get a 3-way battle between Hamilton, Norris and Verstappen for the lead of this race, for the net lead of this race. So Norris has pit. He probably does have a good pit stop. I'll have to double check on that. But Verstappen's got the quickest first sector, and he is putting in some electric pace. Bottas also goes into the pits, so all the drivers at the front will be pitting very, very soon who started on the hard tyres. But Verstappen, another fastest lap from him. Norris comes out ahead of Stroll, ahead of Gasly and Sainz. So this is it, guys. There are 25 laps remaining. Lando Norris has got a 5-second advantage over Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen has got is 5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So it's a 3-way battle for the lead, and all of these drivers by the end of the race are all going to be right next to each other, and we'll see what happens there. So this is going to be very exciting, so go get some popcorn, I guess. There's it. Sainz now 6/10 is the gap between himself and Pierre Gasly, and we'll see if he can make a move on the Frenchman. He is Pierre Gasly still yet to pit, so just need to minimise the time loss there from him. We have team ready from Daniel Ricciardo. Let's play that. Here we go.
And the car behind you is now Verstappen on medium. He pitted same lap as Hamilton.
Yep, so Daniel Ricciardo is probably just going to let Verstappen go by and not let too much like action go on there. And also, guys, we've just broken the record of how many viewers we've ever had live on stream, I think, or maybe we need 50 more people. So if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so, and if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. Trying to hit 10k by the end of the season, and well, we could probably hit 10k by the end of this race if you guys all subscribe and like. So thank you all for all of the support, and back to the race now. Norris is still holding a healthy advantage over Lewis Hamilton. Norris in the lead, in the net lead of this race. Carlos Sainz in P2. He's holding up Lewis Hamilton, but Stroll has not been able to hold him up enough. And now Hamilton is on the back of Sainz. 2/10 is the gap, going down the start-finish straight. Hamilton will have the DRS as well, and the slipstream to help him. And then it will just be a straight fight between Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris. Hamilton makes the move stick into turn 2 on Carlos Sainz. So good move from Hamilton. And this is it now. 24 laps. Lando Norris has 8-second advantage over Lewis Hamilton. And all he's got to do is just defend it. So this is it. 24 laps remaining. And Lando Norris has got 8 seconds and a Lewis Hamilton just to defend against. Valtteri Bottas is setting fastest laps of the race, but there's literally no point because he's not even in the top 10. So Verstappen is now 1 second behind Ricciardo. He's going to have to try and close up and get those positions and overtake him. So good job from Verstappen, but he's had a good recovery drive, but he still needs to complete it, making those moves on Ricciardo, Stroll and Sainz finally to catch up to Hamilton and have a good battle right at the end of this race. And all of the drivers now driving all over the curbs. There's no sign of rain whatsoever. And everyone's pushing to the absolute limit. We have Carlos Sainz team radio. Let's listen to this. Here we go. There we are.
And tires are empty. Try to give it a go with Gasly.
Tires are healthy, you can push.
Yep, so Carlos Sainz's tyres are in good condition, even after 15 laps of racing on those hard tyres. Fernando Alonso is still in P2. He is still yet to pit. Charles Leclerc is in P3. He is also yet to pit. And Hamilton is flying. He's overtaken Gasly and he's overtaken Lando Sainz as well. So now the only thing between Lando Norris and his first Formula 1 win is a charging Lewis Hamilton on hard tyres around the Sochi Autodrome. Can Lando Norris do it? I'm going to end this poll and I'm going to do a new poll and see, can Lando win? Let's see. Can Lando win? There we go. And all right, you guys can vote in that poll, and be sure to like and subscribe as well. All right, back to the race. We have Sainz trying to make an overtake on Gasly. He's got confirmation his tyres are in good condition, and he's the only driver to have slipstream and DRS on Pierre Gasly, so very, very good job indeed. What happened to Max? Max he started last in the race, so he's just stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo, not being able to make the moves which he needs to do. He's on the medium tyres and Ricciardo's on the hard, so it should be rather easy for him. But I think the top speed of the McLaren is not helping. Is not in Max Verstappen's favour. Toto Wolff says we could win this race with only 8 seconds in between Norris and Hamilton, and that gap has come down from 8 seconds to 7.3 seconds. So 7/10 Hamilton has taken out in this last race, lap. Sorry. Perez still in the lead of this race with very good tyre wear. He's done 31 laps on those hard tyres, and he has just been driving very, very well. And we all know Sergio Perez very good at tyre management. All right, guys, it looks like you guys definitely believe Lando Norris can win this race. 72% of you think that Lando Norris can win. But the gap is coming down, and it's coming down very quick indeed. 1.1 seconds in the previous 2 laps. So Hamilton is pushing, and Max Verstappen is having a very tough time overtaking Daniel Ricciardo. He is using all the track limits and that he can get, but the dirty air and the overheating tyres is not helping him. And yeah, Verstappen makes the move, in fact, on Stroll. Looks like Stroll's had a bit of an issue. Maybe he might have spun or something. He loses 2 positions to Ricciardo and Verstappen. So not a good lap for Lance Stroll. But Verstappen up into 9th place. And if it stays like this, Hamilton will retake the lead in the championship. And, well, I don't know if you want that to happen, but I personally don't want... I want Max Verstappen to win the championship. So there we are. Also, guys, we have broken the record for the amount of live viewers that we've ever got on a stream. So this has been the best stream on record, and it's all thanks to you guys. So do appreciate the support. And what an epic race this has been. Hamilton has now got fastest lap of the race, and he is 8/10 quicker than Norris in the previous lap. And he is chugging that gap. That delta is just disappearing. Hamilton is just eating that up lap after lap, and we'll wait and see what can happen here. It's part-time F1 driver, full-time Twitch streamer versus #blessed. We'll find out what happens next. What happened to Russell? Russell had a slow pit stop, and that's why he is down in 11th. Oh no, he didn't have a slow pit stop. He just got undercut by Stroll, and then he didn't have the race pace to keep up. We have team radio from Sergio Perez. Let's play this. Here we go. Oops.
Keep on pushing on here, Checo. It's really good pace.
What's the pace of the people around? Give me more information.
Hamilton's cleared the traffic. His last lap of 38.0. But he's obviously on fresh tyres. This is right on the money.
So Perez apparently doing very good lap times, and actually Perez could have a shot of getting a podium here, with him being in the lead of this race, and he is only 18 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. When Norris and Hamilton eventually come together and have a little battle in between each other, they'll be losing lots of time, whereas Sergio Perez will have pitted and he'll be gaining on everyone. So Perez has a shot if he goes very, very long indeed, and then goes onto the soft tyres. We'll find out if Perez can make a very good move stick. But next into the pits is Mick Schumacher. He pits again for the 2-stop strategy. Might have locked those hard tyres up, and that's why he's gone again to pit. I really need to get a drink, otherwise my throat's gonna hurt for like ages. Yeah. All right, so AWS has just said the gap between Hamilton and Norris will be in striking distance in 5 laps time, and the overtake difficulty will be 2 out of 20 or 1 out of 10. So AWS think it's going to be a very, very easy move for Lando Norris, but Lando Norris has just overtaken Charles Leclerc and put another car in between Hamilton and himself, which is good for Lando Norris's part. And Norris will do his utmost best because, guys, if you remember what AWS said Hamilton will overtake Alonso in about 3 laps time, and it was a 1 out of 10 overtaking difficulty. So, yeah, don't trust what AWS says. Let's trust what Lando Norris does. As we all know, Lando Norris is a very good, capable driver. So this is it. 20 laps remaining, and we will have a battle in our hands in a matter of laps now between Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. Mick Schumacher retires. We cannot resolve the issues, so they've had an issue with the engine, I think. So Mick Schumacher is out of this race, so they cannot do the record of a race without a DNF. Unfortunately, so that has happened there. We can no longer break that record, but we could have a record of Lando Norris's first ever win, which would be very cool indeed. Alright, so Norris's move on Leclerc, just round the outside. Does a switchback move, in fact, at turn 2. Makes Leclerc go deep and then takes the inside into turn 4. So, very clean move from Lando Norris. Let's play the team radio from Valtteri Bottas. Here we go.
Valtteri, get those guys in front of you for points.
So, Valtteri Bottas is being told to overtake the guys in front of them, and the guys in front of them are for points. So that's actual race positions that he needs to overtake if he wants to get the points. Lewis Hamilton currently has fastest lap of the race, so he'll probably have that at the end of the race unless Max Verstappen or someone else decides to pit. And yeah, all right then. The striking distance infographic is pretty trash, and yes, I think someone said it that that I should get BWT to sponsor my streams, because as my water supplier, which would be quite funny in fact. Hamilton is now closed up to Leclerc. 6/10 is the gap between Hamilton and Leclerc going down into the second sector, and Leclerc will defend probably for the second sector, but down the back straight, it'll be very, very difficult with the slow top speed of that Ferrari. So we'll have to wait and see if Hamilton can make the move stick. He is the only driver that will have the slipstream in the DRS of Charles Leclerc. Going down the straight now, 2/10 of the gap. He makes the move on Charles Leclerc, swoops around the outside on turn 12, brakes on a straight line for turn 13, and then up the inside he goes. Great move from Lewis Hamilton. He is up into 4th place now, and once again back on the hunt of chasing down Lando Norris. 4.2 seconds is the gap between the two drivers, 18 laps remaining. Alright. And in the process, Lewis Hamilton has set fastest lap of the race. Hamilton is 4 seconds quicker than Charles Leclerc, but that's because Leclerc was pitting this lap. So, very slow pit stop. Well, he was going a bit slow on the final sector because he had to pit. Leclerc finally pits after 34 laps on those medium tyres. So, expect Perez and Alonso and Giovinazzi to be pitting soon. Giovinazzi's had a very lackluster race today. Sat down in 16th place and not making any amazing race start like he usually does. So, yeah, his seat is still on the line, unless his seat has been confirmed, which I'm not 100% sure of. But nevertheless, Max Verstappen stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo. He needs to make that move stick because the championship battle decides on this. Like, this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing. Where it's like important, you know. He needs to make that move so he can keep the momentum going for the championship. And Kies, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, the F1 championship commentator competition, but if there is, can you add me on Discord and tell me about it, because I would love to do it. Yeah, very much do appreciate. I'll look it up later, in fact. But if you guys haven't hit the like button or subscribe, be sure to do so. I think we're very close to hitting 9.5k subs. Yeah, we're only 40 subs away, so be sure to do that. And getting back to the race now, Norris 6/10 behind Fernando Alonso. Will Fernando Alonso... Ooh, guys, Fernando Alonso could hold up Lewis Hamilton like he did in Hungary. We have team radio from Lewis Hamilton. In fact, let's play this. Here we go. And there's no rain coming, so there's that.
Beautiful work, Lewis.
Yep, just beautiful work. That's what they're saying. It's just going to be hammer time very, very soon. Oh, in fact, both Alonso and Leclerc pit. So this is it now. 17 laps remaining, and 3.3 seconds is the gap between Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris. Also, guys, who are you going to vote for driver of the day? I think it's been a very good drive from Lando Norris, just getting it on pole position yesterday and then just driving consistently lap after lap. And if he can hold off Lewis Hamilton, he's definitely driver of the day. But both of the drivers have pit, and yeah. All right, guys. So Leclerc is back down in P13, so he hasn't had the best recovery drive. By the looks of it, he went again to go pit for his pit on the medium tires. So Leclerc's pitted again as well. So not very good for him. Back into 13th place, not scoring any points when his teammates up in 3rd. And Lewis Hamilton is chasing down Lando Norris quicker and quicker every single lap now. 2.7 seconds is a gap, and this will be the range. Guys, the Discord server and the Instagram and the Twitter is all in the description. So if you just open the description, it'll be there. And yeah. Also, so Hamilton will be charging up the battery. That's true, Multi Ninja. So what will be happening is Hamilton, he will stay out of the dirty air zone. So dirty air zone around about 2.5 seconds or so. And he will charge up the battery and cool down the tyres a bit. So when he goes to overtake Lando Norris, he will have maximum power and maximum, like he can push for about 5 laps, which will be very, very good for him. So, that's what Lewis Hamilton's doing. He sets the fastest lap of the race, goes nearly a full second quicker than Lando Norris as well in the process. So Hamilton has the pace, but Lando Norris has the top speed, and we'll find out what happens. Yeah, just what an amazing race overall today, guys. Record number of viewers, 7.7k live viewers. If you could hit 8k live viewers, that'd be absolutely epic. And if you guys haven't subscribed and liked, be sure to do that. And also, I commentate for every single F1 live stream. So I do the qualifying and the race for every single race. So be sure to tune in next week and the weeks after. We have team radio from Daniel Ricciardo. He's in P4 right now. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, it's just hard with the tyres this course.
Copy. Alonso's picked his pace up, 40.1.
So Daniel Ricciardo just struggling with his tyres. He is not, most likely will not be able to overtake Carlos Sainz. So we might have a Hamilton-Norris Sainz podium maybe, or a Norris-Hamilton Sainz podium, depending on if Lando Norris can put up a good defense against Lewis Hamilton. So this is it now, going down the back straight. Probably in 2 laps time, Hamilton will have the DRS and will be attempting a move. So final 15 laps of this race is going to be very, very exciting indeed. Yeah, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you could hit 1.5k likes, that would be very, very cool. And obviously the 9.5k subs, I think we've hit that. So thank you for all of the support, and now very, very close indeed to 10k. And I'm just looking forward to hit that. So yeah, we've hit 9.5k. So amazing. All right. Nikita Mazepin is about to get lapped. This is going to help out Lando Norris, in fact. Nikita Mazepin will be giving Lando Norris a slipstream and DRS, which is just helping out, which is going to help him out a lot. Fernando Alonso is holding up Max Verstappen. 1.2 seconds is the gap between the two drivers, and Max Verstappen needs to get a shuffle on if he wants to try and overtake Fernando Alonso. I think Fernando Alonso, in fact, wants Verstappen to win the championship. So I think Alonso might just let him by for the championship's sake. You know, we'll have to wait and see. And Verstappen is in the quicker car. You know, so might not be worth his time to do a massive battle for him. Norris's mirrors is full of Lewis Hamilton now. Another fastest lap from him, and yeah, this is it. There's no tyre delta between the two guys. So Lando Norris's tyres are 10 laps old, and Lewis Hamilton's tyres are 12 laps old. So the tyre wear difference is basically both of them. Like, it's very, very close. So no one has any tyre wear advantage over the other guys. So it's just straight pace between the McLaren of Lando Norris and the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. And this is going to be very exciting to watch. It's going to go right down to the wire. 15 laps remaining now. And Lando Norris has picked up the pace, quickest middle sector from him. Pierre Gasly just had a very slow race, really, just not being able to gain any position, so that's why he's stuck down in 15th. Another team radio from Daniel Ricciardo. Let's listen to this.
Alonso has passed Verstappen. Perez 1.1. Let's see if we can close up to Sainz to keep the toe, make the defending easier.
Yeah, so this is what they're talking about. They want to keep... Daniel Ricciardo wants the toe of Carlos Sainz to try and make the defending easier, because if you have a slipstream, then your top speed is higher and it's harder to overtake you, of course. So Daniel Ricciardo trying to close up to Carlos Sainz, and it's not good enough. Well, not close enough, sorry. But Norris picks up the pace, another fastest lap of the race from him. So Norris has still got tyre life left, guys. Let's go. This battle is coming right down to the wire. Final lap of this race is going to be, Norris has put his foot down, and he is pulling away now. In fact, quicker than Lewis Hamilton on the previous lap. This is going to be one very interesting battle now. If we could hit 8K viewers, that would be amazing. We're on 7.7K now, so if you guys hit the like button, hit 1.5K likes, that'd be very cool. We're only 110 likes away, and if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. You could be part of the first 10K subs of this channel. Anyway, back to the race. Perez not being able to overtake Daniel Ricciardo, and Perez has the fresher tyres. He's on medium tyres, which are only 3 laps old, so Perez is probably should be ahead of Ricciardo by this point of the race, but he's just not being able to find a way past. And Perez will in fact get 3rd place, which would help out Mercedes in the constructors. I mean, help out Red Bull in the constructors massively, but it's not going his way with all of the dirty air and recharging the battery and stuff. So the two at the front now are trading fastest laps between Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, and yeah, that's what it is. So very, very interesting race indeed between these two drivers. And it's old versus new, the championship versus the new challenger. A battle of the generations, if you want to call it that. Just an amazing spectacle to see now. So Norris going quicker in the 3rd sector, and it's important to be quicker in the 3rd sector, because the quicker you are in the 3rd sector, the less toe and slipstream that Lewis Hamilton will get. Verstappen is still struggling to get 6th place off Fernando Alonso, and it's going to be difficult for him, because Fernando Alonso is a very difficult guy to overtake, as we've all seen in Hungary. Yeah. All right then, here we go. 13 laps remaining, and this is it. I think it'll be Norris 1, Hamilton 2, Sainz 3. Daniel Ricciardo, we've got another team radio from him. Here we go then.
Verstappen is struggling a lot on medium.
Yep, so he's just being informed of what's going on with the guys behind him. Leclerc makes a good move on Esteban Ocon, in fact, going into turn 2. Just dives down the inside, a textbook maneuver, basically. Good move from Leclerc into the top 10 now. Good recovery drive, in fact, from 19th up into 10th. And just smooth sailing from there. Now, next up is George Russell for him on 27-lap-old hard tyres. Should be an easy move, but the top speed of the Ferrari is a lot slower than the Williams, so it's going to be hard for Leclerc to make that move stick. All right, back at the front, 1.7 seconds is the gap between Norris and Hamilton. Both of them are just maintaining it. Well, Norris is pushing very, very hard, and so is Lewis Hamilton. And the gap has come down to 1.5. It's getting ever, ever closer. And by the end of the race, though, these guys are going to be side by side, battling it out. And I just cannot wait. I also need to get a drink once again, because my throat is once again starting to hurt. Dolan Gray makes a good point. If Verstappen does make it past Alonso, Red Bull are just going to say, all right, we'll just switch around Perez and Verstappen for the team. And yeah, but the thing is, Perez is getting closer and closer to overtaking Daniel Ricciardo. 0.3 was the gap between the two drivers going into turn 2 on the previous lap. So Perez is getting ever closer to overtaking Daniel Ricciardo as his tyres wear out more and more. So by the end of the race, Perez may get up into 4th place, and it'll be very, very good indeed. And yeah, Mund 4E95. That's what we'll call it. When I go to get a drink, or when I have a drink, I'm actually going into the pits. So yeah, nice little thing, I guess. But anyway, gap back at the front, 1.5 seconds, and it's just stabilized there. Both of the drivers looks like they've used up all of their battery, because none of their sectors are personal bests now. And yeah, no one's. It's sort of stalemate. 11 laps remaining now. Norris's fastest lap, so he will get that 1 extra point if Hamilton does not decide to push once again. Going down the straight, Hamilton, the slip, he does not have the DRS as well, which is not helping him. He has a bit of slipstream, but he's not gaining much time off that. Hamilton, if he does win this race, he will get his 100th win in Formula 1. And if Norris wins this race, this will be his first ever win in Formula 1. So very much the championship versus the challenger. David versus Goliath, I guess. Hamilton now 1.2 seconds behind Lando Norris, and he's pushing. You can see all of the dirty. He's going much wider than Lando Norris because the dirty air is just pushing him wider and wider. And the tyre wear is not helping him either, especially with all of the overheating from the dirty air as well. But both drivers on the absolute limit, using all of the curb, as you can see, and just amazing performance from all of them. All right, Sergio Perez getting closer and closer to Daniel Ricciardo. This time, once again, cannot make a move, stick into turn 2. And Verstappen is very frustrated behind Fernando Alonso, just not being able to move stick whatsoever. Oh my god, we're getting so close to 8k viewers, and we're actually 9 likes away from 1.5k likes. So if you could smash that target, that would be amazing. I think if we hit 1.6k likes, that's also a world record. Well, not world record, my record, personal record. So yeah. And also, guys, will Lando win? It's 69% chance that Lando will win. So that's very, very nice. If I don't say so myself. And maybe Lando Norris will win, you know. Both Hamilton and Norris are on hard tyres. Norris's tyres are 15 laps old. Hamilton's tyres 17 laps old. And Hamilton is very, very close to the DRS range now. 1 second is the gap now. 1.085 seconds. So within a few laps, he will be within the DRS. And this is it, 10 laps to go and 1 second gap between the drivers. Yeah, guys, the spam, bit too much. There is no rain at the end. At least there's nothing forecast, and there's no clouds either. So I don't think we'll get any rain. Oh, in fact, I've just got a little pop-up that says clouds on the horizon are ominously dark. 5 to 10 minutes. Bottas's team radio has just been told 5 to 10 minutes till the rain. And Hamilton starts the hammer time. This would be amazing. If it starts raining at the end of this race, guys, oh my god. Thank you, DCS Beamer, for the another 35 donation. Water Stud Alonso for somehow putting the Alpine in between the Red Bulls. Monstrously fast race driver. Yeah, Alonso, amazingly fast. As we saw in Hungary, he is just an absolute rocket ship at defending. Thank you for the donation as well. Really do appreciate it. And back to the race now. 1.1 second is the gap, and Hamilton is getting so close to getting DRS from Lando Norris. We have team radio from Lance Stroll. Let's listen to this, and here we go.
Control the slip in sector 3, +1 on brake balance.
I can't hear you.
Torque 8. Torque 8.
Yep, so Aston Martin not having issues with their radio system. Oh my, we're so close to hitting that 8k viewers. So if you're viewing, don't leave, because this is going to be one epic stream hitting 8k viewers live. There is lots of marbles all over the racing line, which makes overtaking very, very difficult. And there are a few raindrops, guys. It's raining. Everyone who's watching, I would like you to do the rain dance so it starts raining for the last 9 laps of this race, because this is absolutely amazing. Another team radio from Stroll. Let's just listen to this. But the track conditions are going to get even more treacherous, because overtaking, you're going to have to go offline. And offline, there is lots of marbles, and it's going to reduce your grip. And the rain is coming, so here we go. Stroll's radio.
Yeah, temps are too low. Torque 8, and push as hard as you can.
Yep, so Stroll is just telling to push as hard as you can because his temps are getting low, and the temps are getting low because there's rain on the track, guys. 9 laps remaining, there's a chance of rain, 1 second between first and second place. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. We've just hit 8k live viewers. What a stream. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, just absolutely amazing. So here we are. Perez finally gets past Daniel Ricciardo, up into 4th place for Sergio Perez, after being stuck behind Ricciardo for many laps on end. Finally makes the move stick, and Verstappen has fell back behind Fernando Alonso, and it's now he's 2.6 seconds behind Alonso. So it looks like Verstappen's in for 7th place. He's guaranteed to get 7th place, Max Verstappen, unless the rain switches everything up. 1.1 seconds is the gap, and Lando Norris is getting closer and closer, sector by sector, to his first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix win. Don't want to put the commentator's curse on it, but I'm not like a professional commentator, so I don't believe in that. McLaren, yes, his pit stop, Daniel Ricciardo's pit stop definitely did ruin his race, because if Daniel Ricciardo had a good pit stop, he would be in 3rd place right now, and it would be a McLaren 1-3. But here we go then. We've hit 8k viewers as well. There is no rain. Well, no, there is rain. Sorry, I just read a wrong chat message. Hamilton has it. Hamilton does have a free pit stop, so if Hamilton wants to play it safe and go for a fastest lap point, then he may do that. We have team radio from Max Verstappen, and I warn you, he's probably going to be quite frustrated because he's stuck behind Alonso.
How are conditions, Max?
Drizzling a little bit there.
Max Verstappen has just confirmed it's drizzling. Max Verstappen has confirmed it's drizzling. Let's go. 8 laps remaining. The rain is coming. We've actually got an official pop-up. It is raining. What a race, guys. Let's go. 8 laps now. One second between the two drivers, and Norris will be managing those tyres as well as he possibly can. And the battle is between Norris and Hamilton. Norris for his first win, Hamilton for his 100th win. And it's hammer time for Lewis Hamilton, and just maximum push from Lando Norris. And I think I will do that poll later, Archipelago 23, because this race is way too exciting. Hamilton has finally got in within the DRS of Lando Norris now. Going down into turn 3, he is getting closer and closer. Finally got the DRS, but DRS may be disabled, sorry, because of the rain. If it starts raining too heavily, they might disable DRS. So Hamilton's going to have to make the moves very, very quickly. 3/10 is the gap between Hamilton and Norris. 2/10 now. It's getting smaller and smaller. Can Norris hold on 7 more laps to claim his first ever Formula 1 win? Sainz has just told Ferrari, get ready for Inters. Wow, anyone could win this race. If Sainz pits onto the Inters and the rain starts to get really heavy, then Sainz will win the race. What an absolute amazing race this is. All right, I'm going to get a drink so I can commentate till the end of the race without stopping, because this is one heck of a race. All right, gap between Norris and Hamilton, 3/10 going down the back straight. No one can overtake. Hamilton cannot make a move going down there. The final 3rd sector, full of 90-degree corners, off camber, awkward corners. So Hamilton's losing a lot of time there. In fact, he's lost 6/10 just in the final sector alone. So he'll gain that back with the DRS and slipstream, but it will not be close enough to get to make a move into turn 2. So 6 laps remaining in this race. Norris is catching up to Giovinazzi, so the traffic will come, and maybe it'll help Norris, maybe it won't. Norris has just actually ran wide on turn 5. He's made a little mistake, gone wide on turn 5, and it might have been caused by the slippy track. So that's why Hamilton is gaining and closed up so much. We have team radio from Carlos Sainz. Here we go. Let's play this.
Be ready with Inters. Be ready with the soft.
Yep, so that's what they're saying. Get ready with the Inters, get ready with the softs. We have yellow flag conditions. Okay, right, well, it's just gone back to green. Oh, it's yellow flag again. Right, I'll find out why we have a yellow flag as soon as I can. But it's back to green flag. Okay, it's just glitching around, I don't know. But Vettel now up into 9th place in these wet conditions, gets past his teammate Stroll. DRS will also be disabled very, very soon, and the gap in fact has been extended between Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris. Lando Norris has pulled a 2-second gap. This is very, very good indeed. For Lando Norris's chances of winning this race. 6 laps remaining. Latifi has spun. All right, that's fine. Thanks for the info. Bottas and Russell both go into the pits. What tyres are they pitting for? We're going to have to find out very, very soon if they're going on to the intermediate tyres or the soft tyres to get some extra performance right at the end of this race. 8.4k live viewers. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. And if you haven't liked, be sure to do that as well. Very much helping out the stream and the channel. Trying to hit 10k. Thank you. Thank you, C. Paul, for the donation. And it's just rain, and rain is what we're getting. Fernando Alonso 1/10 behind Carlos Sainz, very, very close indeed. Verstappen still not being able to make the overtake, and the tyres that Bottas and Russell are on, oh, come out the pit, sorry. Oh, they're on inters. Bottas and Russell and Raikkonen are on intermediate. 6 laps remaining of the race. They're on intermediate tyres. What is going on? Team radio from Lance Stroll. Let's listen to this. Here we go.
Box, 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 box. Box, box, box.
They're coming in for intermediates and in yellow flag conditions. Someone else might have had a bit of a spin, but the Aston Martin guys are coming in for intermediates as well. 5 laps remaining in this race. They think the rain's going to come down very, very hard indeed. 2 seconds is the gap right at the front. Well, let's find out who can do this. Alonso could potentially get a podium. He's only 3 seconds behind Perez, and we know Alonso is an absolute master in the rain. So this is it. 5 laps remaining. Bottas, Russell, Raikkonen, and Mazepin are all on intermediates. Mazepin's been lapped. There's no point that he's on inters, but those guys are on inters. We'll look at their pace. Yuki Tsunoda's on medium tyres, and looking at the pace of the inters guys, they're significantly slower than everyone else. They're around about 5 seconds a lap slower, so inters are not the tyres to go, but maybe if it starts raining a bit heavier, then that will be the right choice. Sainz, Ricciardo, Verstappen, all of those guys goes into the pit lane for another set of intermediate tyres. So 7 drivers now will be on intermediate tyres with 5 laps remaining of this race. Can Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton hold on in these tricky conditions with rain all over the track on those slick tyres? Tsunoda's pit onto softs. We'll look at his pace and see what he can do there. But the guys on inters aren't setting any quick sectors, so it's not looking good for the guys who've gone onto the inters, and then maybe they've just thrown away a bunch of points. So we'll have to wait and see now, because they have to gain back all of that time in the next 5 seconds. 5 laps. Amazing race, guys. Thank you so much for all of you watching and subscribing and liking and typing in the chat and everything. And maybe we could hit 10k. We're actually so close. 300 more subs and we hit 10k. It's lap 49. Max Verstappen comes into the pit lane. 4 laps remaining of the race. Hamilton boxes. Hamilton pits as well. Okay, so Norris is staying out. Who else is staying out? Norris, Perez, Alonso, Leclerc, and Vettel are all staying out. Everyone else is coming in for inters. 4 laps remaining on this race. And this is it now. Verstappen's on inters, Sainz on inters, so's Ricciardo, Bottas, Russell, Raikkonen. Where does Hamilton come out? We'll have to find out. Hamilton will come out in 2nd place on intermediate tyres as well, because he had a free pit stop. So Lando Norris has fastest lap of the race, whatever happens now, because the rain is coming down. But Lewis Hamilton has to gain 25 seconds in the next 4 laps if he wants to overtake Lando Norris. We have team radio from Lando Norris. Let's listen to this. Here we go.
Track very slippery from here to turn 10. Lots of cars going off.
Yeah, shut up!
All right, Lando Norris is very heated. He's just said yes, shut up to his team, to his engineer, because the rain is coming down hard and he does not want to come into pit. So he's just going to manage it out there for the next 4 laps, tiptoe around all on the rain from turn 1 to turn 10. So that's half of the track is all very, very slippery. We have do we have red flag? Oh no, it's green flag. Never mind. We have green flag racing. Never mind. I will put up all of the other drivers who haven't pit yet. But Lando is very, very triggered. And this is it. The gap between Hamilton and Alonso and Norris has come down 6 seconds in 1 lap now. 6 seconds in 1 lap. Hamilton's middle sector is 2 seconds quicker than Lando Norris. Was it the correct choice for Lando Norris to stay out, or was it better to come into the pits? Who knows? Sergio Perez makes the move on Fernando Alonso. He is in 3rd place. Fernando Alonso is back down into 4th place. Norris, does he come into the pits? Does he stay out? It was last lap. Hamilton gained 7 seconds. If he gains 7 seconds for the next 3 laps, there will be a 4-second advantage that we will have. So, what is the strategy to go for? So McLaren have committed and they're not pitting. They're staying out. 3 laps remaining in this race. 17 seconds is the gap between the 2 drivers. Leclerc now potentially overtaking Alonso. Vettel has lost 2 positions. Sainz and Verstappen have overtaken Vettel, and Vettel is losing loads of pace because he's on the mediums. Lewis is getting closer and closer. He's getting 3 seconds in about 4 corners now. So the rain is coming down very, very hard. Stroll comes in and goes on to Inter. Stroll had a bit of a spin, so he's down in 15th place. Sergio Perez has lost the position. Alonso gets him past. The Rainmaster Fernando Alonso overtakes Sergio Perez. So Fernando Alonso may get a podium in today's race. 8 seconds is the gap between Norris and Hamilton. So it looks like Hamilton is going to get this race lead off Lando Norris. Lando Norris tiptoeing around so slowly, and this is it. He's just Lando Norris, it looks like, has lost the race lead to Lewis Hamilton. Yes, there it is. Hamilton makes the move on Lando Norris. The choice to stay out on those hard tires was the wrong choice, and Lewis Hamilton has got the race lead over Lando Norris, and Max Verstappen is in P3, guys. Verstappen's in P3. The championship, he was down in 20th place at the start of this race, and he's up into P3. So Max Verstappen has done an amazing job of damage limitation. Now, will he overtake Lando Norris, or will Lando Norris get second place? Lando Norris, well, oh my god, what a race. Okay, we have yellow flag conditions. I think someone might have spun. Vettel, Perez, Alonso, and Tsunoda all come into the pits for intermediate tyres. And let's see who is staying out and risking it. We have Lando Norris, who's still out on track, but he is tiptoeing around so slowly. He might as well just be driving in reverse or something, because Max Verstappen has gained 18 seconds in the previous laps. Can we chill with the spams? But we're getting so close to 9k viewers. If you guys haven't hit the like button, be sure to do that. Lando Norris went off the track and he slid into the barriers. He's just going, but the win is gone. Verstappen has gained 3 places up into 3rd place. What a race. Alright, so look at this then. Lando Norris, 20 seconds is the gap between Verstappen and Norris. Like 2 minutes ago, the gap was 68 seconds, and it's dropped down to 16 seconds. So these slick tires are not going well in these conditions. The rain has come down very heavily indeed. And Lewis Hamilton has taken the lead, and he has driven away from Lando Norris. And Max Verstappen, by the looks of it, will get 2nd place. Carlos Sainz will probably get 3rd as well. And then Danny Rick will get 4th place. Norris is so slow because those slick tires are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So Vettel is coming to pits. He is already a lap down. He's in 13th place. Kimi Raikkonen is up in 8th place on those intermediate tyres, so he will be scoring points for Alfa Romeo today. Lando Norris finally does come into the pit lane onto those intermediate tyres. So now he is... now he'll lose a lot of positions because it's 24 seconds in the pit lane. So he's going to be tiptoeing around everywhere. And Lando Norris will be very disappointing indeed. He won't even get a podium today. And yeah, but this is it. The championship, well, the gap between Verstappen and Hamilton now is 52 seconds. Hamilton has a 52-second advantage over Max Verstappen. And by the looks of it, that isn't going to go down anytime soon. Norris comes out in 7th place and lost so many points for Lando Norris. One unfortunate sequence of events. 2 laps remaining. DCS Beamer, thank you for another donation. Thank you so much. Gutted for Norris, but in terms of the championship, this is probably a good outcome. I mean, in terms of the championship battle at the front, yes, the gap between Verstappen and Hamilton will be reduced to 2 points. Hamilton will have a 2-point advantage over Max Verstappen going into the race at Turkey. So that is going to make the championship battle even more interesting and spicy. But this is it. Last lap of the race now. Lewis Hamilton going down the start-finish straight. DRS has been disabled a long time ago. Track conditions. We have Inters. Kimi's in P8, in P7 in fact. Maybe Lando Norris will overtake him on the final lap. But Kimi Raikkonen in P7 looks like he'll be scoring points for Alfa Romeo after a long time coming. And Valtteri Bottas has made a good recovery drive from I think 17 all the way up into 5th place. So very good job from him. And Danny Rick secures 4th place for the McLaren team. And just a good drive from him all around. But we have Lewis Hamilton still on the final lap. Currently in the middle sector, just driving around very carefully indeed. Does not want to throw this win away because it's getting it's going to be very critical for the championship battle. Yeah. All right, guys. Crushed Potato has just joined the stream. You're late. You've missed a lot. It was an absolutely epic race. You're probably going to have to rewatch this. George Russell's in the points. Kimi Raikkonen is in 8th place. Lewis Hamilton is now coming into the final 3rd sector, and just an amazing drive from him. Overall, replay shows that Lando Norris slid off the pit lane entry and crossed the pit lane entry twice, so he may even get a penalty there, Lando Norris. So to add to his miseries, he may get a penalty because he messed up the pit entry. But here comes Lewis Hamilton, an amazing drive, starting 6th place, progressing up through the field, overtaking Lando Norris, mastering the treacherous conditions for his 100th win in Formula 1. What a drive from Lewis Hamilton. He takes a checkered flag. 53 laps of Sochi, and he wins the race by a 50-second advantage over Max Verstappen with these changeable conditions at the end of this race. Next across the line will be Max Verstappen. We have team radio from Charles Leclerc. Let's play this. And George Russell is clinging on to this final point here, his 10th position. And we have, Charles Leclerc team radio.
I cannot stop the car, guys.
Yep, Charles Leclerc was on the medium tyres and he just could not control the car. But here we go. Max Verstappen next across the line. He has done an amazing recovery drive. Last to 2nd place. Started set 20th up to 2nd. Amazing drive. The championship battle between the two drivers now. Only 2 points separate Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Next across the line, Carlos Sainz gets another podium. Very good drive from him. And then we have Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, and Fernando Alonso. What an amazing stream this has been, guys. My Instagram and Twitter and Discord are in the description. I post memes and like important information and all the cool stuff on Insta and Twitter, so be sure to go follow me on that. It's F1_gamer_5 on both of them. And yeah, what an amazing stream this has been. An amazing race as well. Probably one of the best races of the entire season. He wins for the 100th time in Formula 1. Amazing job. Then Yuki Tsunoda and Lance Stroll are the last drivers to cross the line, and that is it. The 2021 Russian Grand Prix is over. What an amazing race that was. Absolutely scintillatingly amazing. And we've also broke the record of the amount of viewers I've ever got on a stream, and the amount of people, the amount of likes, and the amount of donations and everything. And in fact, we're only 255 subs away from 10k. So if you guys haven't subscribed, it would very much mean the world to me if you do. And it was a very risky strategy from McLaren to stay out on those mediums, or to stay out on those tyres, and it did not pay off for them. And Lewis Hamilton has just come over the team radio and said, "That was hard work, man. Fantastic call on tyres. Thank you." An amazing race from Hamilton. Yeah. Sing Super Max. Max didn't win the race. So sorry about that. Verstappen comes home in 2nd, and there's so much stuff that I missed. I missed Max Verstappen making 3 overtakes. Like, that's how crazy the race was. Like, what a race. I'm going to try and get some images up on Twitter of what happened and stuff. But this is it, guys. This has been the Austrian, the Russian Grand Prix. So this is what the track conditions were like at the end of the race. Like, there was this much rain. It was very, very heavy rain indeed. And this is where Lando Norris went off. So that's what happened there. Lando Norris has just gone off the track, and that's where Lewis Hamilton overtook him. So that's what happened there. And yeah. See, that's what happened. That was the main problem there, and Lando Norris just lost the race because he had a bit of a problem, and that was it. And also, guys, I am streaming the race in Turkey, the qualifying and the race, so be sure to tune in. Very much do appreciate all of the support, all 9,000 of you that were watching. Thank you so much. My voice is probably breaking because I've been talking for such a long time. And everyone who's saying my commentary is amazing, thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And we've got some team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's listen to this.
Nicely done, Max. We'll take that. P2. Nice shot.
Well, we definitely take that one. Wow. Okay, that was the end, a good call. I think we took the right lap.
Yeah, well done, Max. You judged that. You judged that well. You got the right lap there.
We didn't lose so many points today, so that's really, really good.
Yep, so that's what it is. Max Verstappen has done the best damage limitation job he could have possibly done, other than taking the race win. He gets second place, and the gap between himself and Lewis Hamilton is 2 points in the championship, guys. 2 points. So the race in Hungary is going to be, in Turkey, sorry, it's going to be very, very exciting indeed. But this is it. History has been made. Lewis Hamilton, the first ever driver with a 3-digit number of wins. Wow, what a drive. What an amazing drive. Thank you for everyone in the all the nice messages in the chat. Archipelago 23, Jason Celestial, Chris Basak, Nick Noke, Bernatus, Noah Seb, and everyone who's subscribed as well. Very much do appreciate it. And we're 200 subs away from 10k, so we could do it definitely next stream. We could hit 10k. So all right. Love the stream. Go Lewis. I still want Lando to win. Yeah, I mean, Lando Norris had managed the race so well. And then just right at the end, the strategy was slightly off and pitted 2 laps too late, and then lost 7 positions, in fact. So very bad for Lando Norris. Feel very bad for him, but I mean, just absolutely amazing, absolutely crazy. And my Twitter and Instagram, once again, F1_gamer_5. If you do want to go follow me, post all of the memes, so you can expect that, and you make the race very exciting. Nice. Thank you so much. Congrats on 9k. Do appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, there's no post-race show today, but if you guys want, I can open a Twitter space, and if you guys want to join on Twitter, we can talk about the race with you guys. So if you guys do let me know in the chat if you want to do a Twitter space, or we could do it on Discord either. But yeah, Wolfie1T00 200 to 10k. Yeah, I think you've been quite a long fan as well. Quali was more exciting than the race. Well, this race was so exciting. I mean, qualifying right at the end, it got really, really exciting. But then right at the, this whole race, like from start to finish, all of the overtaking, all of everything was just so good. And Phineas Flynn, yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. I think the race in Hungary, in Turkey is, sorry. And thank you, Archipelago 23. So if you guys do want to join on Twitter, do let me know in the chat, and then I'll start a Twitter space, and then we can talk about the race. That actually rhymes, Twitter space and talk about the race. Anyway, yeah, so we'll in fact talk about it a bit now, while we are here, and we've still got 3,000 people watching. This season is absolute fire. Yes, very true. One of the best Formula 1 seasons we've had in a very long time, in fact. So amazing race. You would like a Twitter space? Well, F1_gamer is my Twitter. F1_gamer_5 is my Twitter. 4 of you have followed me, or 3 of you have followed me. But I'll open a space up in a second. So great. Thanks for the stream and great commentary. Do appreciate it. All right. Get in there, Lewis. Thanks for the race. I mean, everyone, all of the support is absolutely amazing. I'm actually quite tired after that race. It was so exciting. Yeah, great race from Lando. And I mean, his first win, it will come. He was amazing drive from him. He's been so consistent, and he was so unlucky to miss out today. Yeah, I mean, if I was to rate this race out of 10, I would probably say 10 out of 10. Drama right at the end and action start to finish. That's everything you want in a Formula 1 race, you know. So absolutely lovely. Yeah. Wow. So we have a quote from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton says, "It's taken such a long time to get to 100, and at times I wasn't sure it would come. Lando did such an amazing job. He had incredible pace. It was bittersweet to see my old team ahead. The team made a great call right at the end. I didn't want to let Lando go, but again, I didn't know what the weather was doing. So just absolutely amazing there from Lewis Hamilton. And he has finally got his 100th Formula One win. I don't know who is driver of the day, in fact. So yeah, no idea, sorry. But that has been that. And I've never done a Twitter. You are following 300 plus people on Twitter, yeah. Well, in fact, I'll start the Twitter space now. Oh, I have to name the space. Let's call it Twitter space about the race. And then start it. And I will... And then you guys can come on Twitter and talk. Talk if you want. I think next week it'll still be on Avli, but for now we can do it on Twitter, because why not? Here we go, microphone. All right. Yeah, so the Twitter space has started, so if you guys do want to join, then we can talk about that. But who is your driver of the day for today's race? Do let me know. And yeah, who is your driver of the day? And because I would say my driver for the day, probably Max Verstappen, starting 20th place, and then being at the right place, right time, gaining 3 positions right at the end of the race as well. Just absolutely amazing. So good job from him, from Max Verstappen. And yeah, it could have been a 1-2 or a double podium for McLaren, but unfortunately it wasn't. Yeah, not the best, of course, but nevertheless, it's still good points. It's more points than Ferrari got, so that's pretty helpful in terms of like the championship and stuff. But nevertheless, obviously would have preferred more points or not. Lando Norris, he maybe deserved thing, because it wasn't his fault that he got put on the wrong strategy. And yeah, so I'll leave the Twitter space open for maybe 5 or so minutes. If you guys do want to pop in, then we can have a chat about the race, because I do like talking to you guys. Obviously you're in chat, but talking is better than like typing in chat. So last time when I joined the stream, Perez was P4 and then P9. What the heck happened? So rain happened. Yeah, a lot of rain. Invite to speak. All right. Well, a lot of rain happened, and that's how Perez went from P4 to P9. I mean, just what a drive from him. I mean, not what a drive. He was doing so well up in 3rd place, but then the rain came, and then he was on the wrong strategy, and then was out of the race, unfortunately. Well, out of contention for the race win or podiums. So that's what happened to what's it called? Sergio Perez, sorry. Yeah, amazing. What just happened? Yeah, all of you guys that have just missed the race, you've missed. It's quite it's not the best. Kiez, you can't see the Twitter space. I think you might have to follow me to see the Twitter space. I'm not sure. Kimi finally scores points. Yeah, the experience coming through when it's needed. He probably came on the radio and told the McLaren guys, told the Alfa Romeo guys to pit because the track conditions weren't correct. And I'll see you, Kiez. Yeah, no worries. And yeah, Rickish, you missed the race. You missed a lot. Yeah, you probably should have watched this race instead of doing your homework. Even though the tests are really important. What a race this was. I can't even sum it all up, because it was just action start to finish and just absolutely crazy. What do you guys think? The guys who are in the Twitter space. The Wolf. You guys can talk if you want. I think I can invite you to talk if you want to. Yeah. Lando Norris was having an investigation on the pit entry after the race. So we have a quote from Max Verstappen. It was quite a tricky on the in-lap to make the calls for the inters. It was really slippery, but if we had gone 1 lap earlier, you would have destroyed the inters. The race itself was not easy. Luckily with the rain, it helped us to make the last jump with the penalty we had to lose only one spot basically. When I woke up, I definitely didn't expect this. So amazing drive from Max Verstappen, going from last to second place. And then Carlos Sainz got round to Lando in turn 2, and then graining came and we had to go early on the hards. The rain came at the exact right time as my hard tyres were going away. We boxed exactly at the right time and managed to get back onto the podium. So yeah, when's the race in Turkey? The race in Turkey is in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. Oh, hi Wade. Wade Coppage. I'll invite you to talk and then you can. Yeah, I think you can talk if you want to, of course. Yeah. But my drive of the day, definitely Max Verstappen going from last to second, sorry, and 2 weeks to Turkey. The highlights, I'm surprised if they can pack all of the highlights into 7 minutes, because it is just, what a crazy race. I mean, like, wow. So Lando Norris will be investigated next after the race for his pit entry. But yeah. What else do we have? An F for Norris, Leclerc, and Vettel. Yeah. Ooh, someone else has joined as well. Cool. If you guys, I think you have to ask to talk. I'm not exactly sure how Twitter Spaces work, but I think I've invited you to speak, so I guess you can speak if you want to. Yeah. Cool. All right. And Lando Norris might even... Oh, Lando Norris gets drive of the day, in fact. But it's not going to be much consolation because you get no points and you're down in 7th place. So, but he does get fastest lap of the race point, if that's any consolation. I guess. 1 extra point. Vettel obviously had a very good race in Turkey last year. We'll see if he can carry on that into next year as well. Into this year, sorry. Super appreciative of your stream. Your broadcast was fantastic. Thank you. The Wolf, you're a speaker, so if you want to unmute and just talk about the race or whatever you found really nice, then be sure to do that. And Mercedes won't be happy about Max Verstappen's result because, of course, they would have liked Max Verstappen to be last and Lewis Hamilton to be first. But yeah. I'll see you next race, guys, if you are leaving. So, yeah, streaming next race in Turkey. Yeah, wow. So it's time for the podium. Sainz is first out onto the podium now. Nice wave to the crowd and goes on to 3rd place. It's his third podium of the year, in fact, as well, Carlos Sainz. So, very good drive from himself. And actually, he'll get the podium this time, actually be on the podium rather than getting it after, like he usually does. And yeah, excellent commentary throughout. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Do appreciate it. Also, there are, I think, 1,500 of you still here. Oh, that's totally fine. If you guys do want to join the Twitter space, then I am on Twitter now, and it's F1_gamer_5. So, yeah. And all of you guys that are on Twitter, I'm currently streaming on YouTube as well. I think you've probably seen me from YouTube. And yeah, and also we're actually only 32 likes away from 2k likes. So that'd be the highest ever. So if we could hit another 32 likes, that'd be epic. Back to the race though. We'll go from top down and talk about every single driver, and it'll probably take a while because just what a race. So Lewis Hamilton was stuck in 6th place, in fact, right at the start of the race, and wasn't being able to make any inroads on anyone. And then finally, he got up into behind Lando Norris, and then the rain came, and then the Mercedes did the correct strategy. Also, Kiez, I think if you're still watching, thank you for the link to the commentator challenge, because I might apply, because I do quite a bit of commentary, so yeah. And also, all you guys who are following me on Twitter, do appreciate it. Oh, we're 18 likes away from 2k likes, so yeah, congrats on 9.68k subs. Yeah, very, very close indeed. All you guys that do want to talk, I think all you have to do is I'll invite all of you, and then you can do it. You can talk if you want. And yeah, McLaren McLaren again let Daniel down. Yeah, Daniel would have been up. He would have overtaken Carlos Sainz and got that podium if he had got that quicker pit stop. So, you know, we'll find out. And Kiez, maybe I go on to do something good in that commentator challenge, and then maybe one day I'm commentating Formula 1. That's quite a ways away, but we'll see. I mean, there's no harm in trying, really. Next, Max Verstappen started last place. Didn't get off to the electric start that we all expected him to do so. We all expected him to gain like 10 positions on the opening lap. Didn't do that, but he did make his way through the field consistently, one position after the next. And he finally got up into second place. Because of the rain, he gained 3 places right at the end of the race when the rain came. Right strategy at the right time, and then and also amazing driving. No mistakes from him either. Absolutely amazing. Then we have Carlos Sainz, who was sort of a dark horse, just progressing through slowly, and then has just amazing drive throughout the through the entire in the rain period, because his tyres started to wear out exactly when the rain started falling. So then he switched onto the Inters and then just went out and did put an amazing lap in, amazing 4 laps or so, and then got that 3rd place and got a podium first time as well. Not 3rd time this year. So very good job from him. The Aston Martin boys crashed into each other in the slippery conditions. Stroll and Vettel crashed into each other. I didn't even know that happened. But there you go. Stroll and Vettel crashed into each other. The Ferrari is also a dark horse. Yeah, the prancing horse is also black on their logo. Next is Daniel Ricciardo. If it wasn't for his slow pit stop, he would also be on the podium, or we would have battled Carlos Sainz for the podium. So, yeah. Daniel Ricciardo race really just compromised by that slow pit stop. Otherwise, absolutely amazing race. And then Valtteri Bottas did what the wingman needed to do and got that 5th place. Was kind of stuck behind Gasly for a lot of laps. Stuck behind the AlphaTauri, but made it through when the rain started falling. And when he pitted onto those mediums and got past in the end. Then Fernando Alonso, just a good consistent drive at the start of the race, up into 3rd place, but then came back down. And yeah, that's what happened there. Oh, there's 1,200 of you still watching. Wow. Well, I guess you guys really do like the commentary. There's 11 likes left, or 2k. I really want to hit that, because it just sounds so cool. Yeah. Next is Lando Norris. I mean, Lando Norris is basically the biggest heartbreak story of this year, with the fact that, with the fact that he was leading all the way up until the end, and then the bad strategy compromised him, and he lost out. So that's what happened there. But he did get drive of the day. It just wasn't his day, though, even though the fact that he got drive of the day. Next is Kimi Räikkönen, finally scoring points for Alfa Romeo. A long time coming for him. And just amazing job from him. And then you can see Sergio Perez, one of the last people to switch onto the intermediate tyres. So he is down in 9th place because he switched onto the Inters 2 at the wrong time. Not the best, of course. And then George Russell scoring points. Good job from him. And yeah, he sort of just fell back and didn't have the race pace. And I don't think Williams were expecting him to have the race pace. But Mr. Saturday did it again and put himself up in P3 in quali. So there's that. And Norris did have fastest lap of the race. Yeah, I think I said that. I'm not sure. But so this is what it is then. So what happened with the rain? I just want to explain. So the rain was light at first, and then some of the drivers were just like, all right, just screw it, and we're just going to pit. And then they got the intermediate tyres, and then they went on but then the rain sort of fell away, and they were like, okay, well, and now it's just become dry again. So most of the teams were like, oh, whatever, we can just carry on going, and it'll be fine. But then the rain started coming heavier, so it was light, then stopped, and then heavy. So then all the teams that were just looking at the radar like very, very carefully, they know now that, well, they knew the heavy rain was coming, so they went on to the Inters. Next, Stroll and Vettel, both of those guys collided into each other. I didn't even see that, but the Aston Martin team probably won't be happy about it, considering they collided into each other. And yeah, they didn't have much pace this weekend. Neither did Gasly or Ocon compared to their... Well, Gasly didn't have much pace, and then Ocon was rather slow compared to Fernando Alonso. Leclerc started at the back and then had to take an extra pit stop, I think, so he was rather slow. And then Giovinazzi, Tsunoda and Mazepin, just rather slow race in general. Yeah. So that's what happened there. And then Latifi, I think he had a spin, so he crashed out, and then Schumacher had a DNF. So that's what happened in today's race. I'm going to end the Twitter space. So I will see everyone who joined. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys. Well, I'm going to end the Twitter space, but I'll still be on YouTube. So yeah, see ya. All right. So I will be streaming in 2 weeks' time in Turkey, and we've also hit 2,000 likes, which is very epic. So thank you so much for that. And we also had, Max nearly overtook the entire grid. So amazing drive from Max Verstappen, and a small drop in points, but a new PU. That was it was a good strategic call from Red Bull to take the power unit penalty then. So we only lost 7 points, but then overall got a brand new engine, so we'll have a lot more horsepower going down the straights. And I will just look at the Constructors' Championship, in fact. Oops, wrong website. I think if I click here, it'll tell me what the Constructors' points are for the drivers. Here we go. So the gap between Hamilton and Verstappen is 2 points. There's no team constructors. I will check the constructors. Driver of the day was Lando Norris. And yeah. All right, I will just check. Hamilton wasn't keen to pit, but the team told him that there was more heavy rain coming, and that's why that happened. So that's why Hamilton pitted early and then finally got it. And then let's look at the constructors' standings. I'm not sure if they've updated them. They may have updated them. They may not have. Let's just look. 120 add 244. They have updated them. So that is the... Oops, I need to take... Yeah. So these are the constructors' standings. I'll just put on dark mode so your eyes don't get completely, like, burnt out, I guess. Oops. What's happened there? Never mind. So... Oops. Oh my god. Mercedes are 30 points ahead of Red Bull. So Red Bull still have a ways to go to try and win the constructors, but the drivers is very, very close indeed. So just looking forward to that battle, really. And maybe one DNF, maybe a 1-2 from Red Bull, and that will swing the constructors back to them. But it'll be very, very close indeed for the constructors and the drivers. And Spencer, that is very true. It's a learning moment. Any opportunity where you don't win the race, it's an opportunity to learn. And now the McLaren team will know what to do. They'll know to check the radar and stuff like that. So there is that. So that's been it, guys. So that's been today's stream. Thank you so much for all of the support. We've hit 9.8k subs or something. So we're so close to hitting 10k, in fact. Yeah, only 144 subs away from hitting 10k. And yeah, thank you for all of the support and chat messages and all of that. Do really appreciate it. And yeah, so have a nice morning, afternoon, day. Wait, no, morning, afternoon, yeah, evening, day, night, wherever you are, depending on where you are in the world. And I will be streaming in Turkey. So yeah, cheers, fellas.